Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wild.
Can we get to the most pressing matter of the day?
What's that?
The most pressing matter of the day, and this will be edited in later.
Oh.
Because you got to see it. Steve Dangle made the Vegas entrance yesterday.
Yeah, that was weird.
So, okay, hold on.
I even watched it and I didn't see it.
So you watched the enormous Vegas opening ceremony, because that's really what it was. It was like the Olympics.
Drew Doughty talking trash, and the whole audience is like, "No, disapprove." And then Connor Hellebuyck
We
does
disagree strongly.
No, you also ended up being wrong. We beat your team. But there are a few other schmucks. Nick Kiprios, for example. And yours truly.
Now, how did you find out about this? Because obviously you had to go back onto YouTube and hear it. It was about, 43 seconds in?
It's 43 seconds into the... There's a video going around of the whole Vegas video intro. And it starts with Kiprios. And then there's someone who says, how are they in the playoffs? They're an expansion team. And it sounds like me, but I don't remember saying that. I know I've said a variation of that 1,000 times, but what am I going to do? Go through all my videos, go through all the podcasts.
All your content.
All my hashtag content. And I even tweeted that. I'm like, needle in a haystack. How am I going to find it? Someone's like, oh, here you go. 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later. I was like, really? You expect me to comb through all of my all the videos
content
on my channel? The podcast channel ended up being on the Sportsnet channel. I'm like,
wow.
How the hell do you know that?
So, then who found it for you?
Here,
who told you?
I got to find them.
It wasn't on the broadcast. That part wasn't shown on television, I don't think.
Maybe it was in the States.
Maybe in the States. Yeah, because I don't remember them showing the on ice.
The Videotron thing.
That's an in-arena thing.
Because that's where it was.
Yeah.
By the way, just for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, it's on the actual video board.
They've done it before every home game this playoffs, but I remember, because Sportsnet shows the medieval times entrance that everybody knows.
Medieval times.
Yeah. But they don't, I'm pretty sure they don't show that quote on the broadcast.
I'm trying to find it.
And if they do, then I'll pull the actual video for you, so you can have that for a copy. Maybe we could throw it up on our own YouTube channel.
That'd be cool.
From Sportsnet.
I don't know if we can.
We just won't claim ads on it.
No, there you go. Yeah, that's how it works. I think. I don't really know how YouTube ads work. I probably should. Ryan Hurst, Base Anonymous, is the guy who showed me which video it was from. But a few people sent me the link, including folks on our Reddit page. They're like, Steve's in the thing. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like me, but I don't think it's me.
It's you.
Ended up being me.
When people catch things like that, does it ever make you feel like, what else in life am I missing?
What? In what regard?
Well, for me,
boy,
I would have.
I didn't expect to get this introspective this early.
I would have never caught that, because while I try, detail's hard for me, and big picture stuff is where I'm at.
You miss 10 to 70% of the details.
Bingo. And that's the thing. I don't know, unless if it were my voice, maybe I'd catch it. But I don't know. The way that it sounded in the arena, it almost doesn't even sound like you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It with the echoing and that sort of thing.
It sounded exactly like Steve when you watched the video.
When I watched it, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that. I didn't feel like I don't know. There's music. There's a crowd cheering. It's echoey. And so I was like, you know what I mean?
See, Jesse, you listened to it, though, with the context of me going, this is me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If you had just heard it, you might not have picked up on that.
No way.
You know? It could have just been
Jesse
some guy.
disagrees, because Jesse will.
Well, and he's looking at me in his disagree, Stephen, face.
I just don't know how you don't know your good friend's voice.
Oh.
Good friend?
Good friend.
Good friend.
Me.
You know?
I hate myself. What are you talking about? I would never hang out with me.
And are you sure it was you and not Hat Guy?
Well, his voice is pretty distinct.
Yeah, that I would have caught.
Would you?
Yeah.
It could have been that guy.
I think so. I
Go
think
back
so.
and check the video.
Cookie Monster or something.
So, how does it feel to wear a jersey that you paid for?
It's
He's wearing a Golden Knights jersey right now that he went out and bought today for a video.
Feels bad, man.
Does it feel bad?
Well, yeah, I don't want to pay for things.
The Caps jersey in your videos.
Yes.
Did you pay for that?
No, I got that a long time ago from my Aunt Sharon. Shout out Aunt Sharon.
Why did Aunt Sharon get you a Capitals
Because
jersey?
she's like, who are some of your favorite players? And the Leafs sucked, so I was like, I like Alex Ovechkin. And she was just like, here's an Ovechkin jersey.
And it's an assistant captain Ovechkin.
So it's old.
Who was the captain?
Tim something. Tim Taylor? Was it Tim Taylor?
It wouldn't have been Connolly, would it?
No, it wasn't Tim Connolly. Yeah, Jesse, you're going to have to look that up. It was someone who you were like, come on.
Are we serious? Yeah. Really?
They got to give this over to Ovechkin. I'm not even certain they were off the team yet when Ovechkin was named captain. I think they just went, not your team anymore.
Fair.
I don't remember 100% who it was. Jesse's
looking right now.
It.
In 2009, 2010,
Wow.
Chris Clark.
Chris
captain
Clark!
of the Washington Capitals.
Get out.
There you go. He was captain for 1, 2, 3 years.
Who's the guy? Oh my God. Tampa had some captain who I was like, I barely even know who this player is. And I think it was Tim something or something Taylor.
Chris Gratton?
It couldn't have been Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I don't know if Chris Gratton. Benoit Brunet.
Benoit Brunet.
Do you remember him?
I do, and I'm trying to picture him.
I don't even know if I thought he played in. I know he played in Montreal. I'm not sure if he played in Tampa, but I'm fairly sure he did. I thought he had a hockey card.
I just
Anyway,
pictured Antoine Brunette. That's
Tim
how far
Taylor
off I am. It was
the
Tim the Toolman.
captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2006, 2007, and 07, 08 until Vincent Lecavalier was named captain the year after.
isn't that weird that Vincent Lecavalier wasn't captain before that? And they also had Marty St. Louis and Brad Richards, and Tim
But what time
Taylor's their
did
captain.
Lecavalier get there?
He was
He got-
drafted by them.
He was there
First
at like
overall.
2000, wasn't he?
2001, I think.
That makes no sense then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes absolutely no sense.
Tim
Why did he
Taylor
do that?
has a career of how many goals? 73 goals.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
73 more than I'll ever get.
Scored 23 in his career for Tampa Bay.
That's it.
Wait, so he didn't even score
See,
half his goals? And who did he score them with?
He also played for the Rangers. He played for Boston. He played for Detroit.
Peak NHL right there.
I remember none of
Peak
that.
NHL. That's peak NHL, especially in that time frame when it was like, you got to get. Sometimes your captain's got to be a third line grinder because he's character. Because he's character.
I was saying this,
He had a 20-goal season for Boston.
I'm sure
in
no more than once.
97, 98.
Remember
Look at the big goals on Tim.
dude, Domi had like a 14-goal season.
He did.
Yeah.
If he played more, he probably could have scored 20 that year.
Probably. No, remember there was like a brief trend of teams circulating the captaincy like month to month?
Yeah.
Minnesota did that. Ugh.
Gross.
What the hell are you doing?
Calgary in their championship winning team year, I think it was Doug Risenbrough and Lanny McDonald. So Doug was the away captain and Lanny was the home captain.
So
And-
Lanny's the captain.
So Lanny, but Doug Risebrough and then but the thing was back then or at that point it was Lanny's last season, the year they won the cup, and he wasn't playing every game because he wasn't. His people forget that I think he scored like 7 goals that year. Like he didn't play very much. So the fact that he scored the cup winning goal is kind of a miracle.
You've done it, Lanny. You've
Yeah.
done it. Well, Adam, if we're talking about miracle goals, let's talk about Thomas Nosek scoring the game winner yesterday and Ryan Reeves scoring the game tying goal after scoring the series winning goal against the Jets. The expansion team is in the Stanley Cup final and they're up 1-0. Nothing makes sense.
Can I read off Tim Taylor's stats for the year he was captain?
Yes.
Yeah.
And to close out this conversation.
Please, yeah, let's do
So
it.
the year Tim Taylor was captain for the Tampa Bay Lightning was 2006, 2007. In that year, he played 71 games. Not bad.
Not at all. He might have just been injured.
Yeah, sure. But his total points were 6 with 1 goal and 5 assists. And his average time on ice was 7 minutes and 55 seconds. That is your 37-year-old
Peak
captain.
NHL. Peak
Tim
NHL
Taylor.
from that time.
Points.
He had 6 points and he played 8 minutes a night. And he was captain.
And they had Brad Richards, Marty St. Louis, and Vincent Lecavalier.
How many penalty minutes did he have? Like, was he at least a fighter?
He had 16.
What season was
did he do?
2006, 2007.
Wow.
You want to read off who was on that team?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Dan Boyle, like you said, Vincent Lecavalier.
But like rookie Dan Boyle, I'm pretty sure they were bad.
Paul Ranger.
Was this 06, 07?
It was.
This was the sharp decline.
Martin
after the
St.
Cup.
Louis, Brad Richards, Kari Romo, Vinny Prospal.
Oh,
There you go. Shane O'Brien.
Just to give you an idea, Lecavalier had 108 points that year, 52 goals, 56 assists.
But how much character did he have?
He had none.
None.
He had 3/4 of the amount of goals in one season that Tim Taylor ever got.
How many? How many points? 108. Divide that by 6. I want to know how many times more points.
Let me throw this out at you. Marty St. Louis, 43 goals, 59 assists, 102 points that year.
Holy mackerel.
Brad Richards, 25 goals, 45 assists, 70 points. But Tim Taylor, everyone.
Tim, the Toolman Taylor.
How did this turn into I don't even remember.
Deep dive into the Timland.
Yeah.
So he was a center. He must have been fourth line center.
I think he was. Jeez.
7 minutes a game.
7 minutes a
Talk
game.
about rolling 4 lines, eh? And they actually could have. They had the talent.
Well, it's just surprising to me that he only had the 16 penalty minutes because you look at that ice time and that production and you go, oh, must have been a goon.
Nope.
Nope. He wasn't
just
he like
did nothing.
5'9"? He's not a big guy.
6'1".
6'1". Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's decent for a hockey player.
Well, see, with fights, now fights just happen every now and then and we go, oh, interesting. But like there used to be like middleweights, heavyweights, super heavyweights, and we would refer to them by like weight class. Like, oh God, who was it? Who was the guy? Aaron Asham. They were
Yes,
like, oh,
Islanders.
he's the king of the
Islanders in
middleweights
Pittsburgh.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, but then he wouldn't take on your big fighter. He'd take on...
but he would sometimes.
And
Sometimes.
Didn't he get in trouble one time because he fought a guy and he knocked him out and then he did like a sleeping motion?
He did, and
on
he
the
got
way
in
to the
trouble
bench?
for that.
Yeah.
Well, like,
That's
so
bad.
When
That's
Cam
bad.
Jansen, who was yipping after the Tom Wilson hit yesterday, which I assume you're dying to get to, Adam.
We'll get there.
Cam Jansen, when he hit Caberlet, the next game was obviously the revenge game, and everyone was looking forward to it. Tucker wanted him. Tucker wanted Jansen, and they probably matched up a little bit better height and weight-wise, but Jansen was like a heavyweight fighter. And Belak goes, no, that's mine. And Tucker said, you bet he is, because you're not going to correct Wade Belak.
No.
Nope.
When you search Aaron Asham, the first thing that comes up is a beautiful video of Brendan Shanahan explaining how Aaron Asham got a 4-game suspension in 2012.
Aaron Asham was still playing into 2012. That is the most surprising part about that whole thing.
He was part of that absolute carnival series against the Flyers in 2012, where I got yelled at by an editor at CBC.
Why did you get yelled at by an editor?
Because we were supposed to be doing highlight packs that were like 90 seconds. Like 2 minutes was considered far too long. And there was one particular game in this series, Flyers won 8-4, and there were like 90 fights. It might have even been this game Jesse's looking at. And the highlight pack was almost 4 minutes.
Now, was that for TV or for online?
It was for online.
Imagine caring.
Well,
It's online.
It was a different
Watch
time.
it or don't.
It was a different time. And also, he was the one editing it. So, I mean, it was easy for me to just be like, here's a clip, here's a clip, here's a clip, here's a clip. And I wrote the script. So, but anyway.
Imagine caring.
It was 8-4.
Jesse, can you imagine caring?
Like, Wayne Simmons scores like a goal of the year candidate.
I can.
I can. No, and like, I was told by another guy who wrote highlights there, don't include fights. You're not supposed to include fights. I asked someone else there about that, and they're like, what? No, shut up. Yes, you do. But, like, Crosby fought Giroux. Like, it wasn't just any fight.
No, that's a big one. That's
like,
a big
I'm
one.
pretty sure Letang fought. Malkin fought someone. It was a ridiculous series.
Angry Evgeny Malkin is a sight to behold.
Man,
That's red mist territory right there. When he gets mad, and it's once a year maybe?
Russians got that red mist flip mode switch.
For sure.
You know, another guy like that, Kovalchuk.
Really?
Kovalchuk was a monster when he wanted to be. There's so many dirty things from his career that
Really?
these days, oh my God, he get the book thrown at him. I'm excited to see him back in the league.
That'll be fun. So we just gotta
Back in 2018.
So we really need to just jump into this game here. I mean,
Just like they did.
from the start of the game, right up until like kind of the end of the first period, where I think the Caps went up 2-1.
2-2.
It was 2-2.
Vegas
So-
tied it late.
Yeah, Vegas tied it late, but honestly, it was Vegas for the first 15 minutes.
The
Like, didn't
shots
the Ca-
were
wasn't it like
5-0 at one point, yeah.
Yeah, and then it got to like 7-1
Yeah,
on
the
the
Caps,
shots.
I don't think were ever ahead in shots. I don't think so.
I would make sense. Yeah.
I don't know if they won a single period in terms of the shot count.
And it's funny because, on
Maybe the
paper
third.
again, Washington probably the deeper team, but it's starting
Like
to look,
every other team Vegas has played.
There
Yeah.
are 29 other teams or 30 other teams that are deeper than Vegas.
I wanted to bring this up.
Maybe not New Jersey.
So Keith Olbermann,
How dare you?
I know, you're right.
Taylor Hall, the Hart Trophy winner?
But he dragged that team all the way to the playoffs.
sure did.
He did what Connor
He's
McDavid
as
couldn't.
deep as they need to be.
Wow.
Keith Olbermann was on ESPN today because he's back with ESPN all of a sudden
That's
again
still strange.
for the 18th time.
I do this now. What? All right,
All
sure.
right,
Yeah,
sure,
you
Keith.
bet.
Yep. And this is what got me to watch the video. I'm not going to play the video because it's really not. We don't need to play the video. It's just a lot of rambling. But Keith Olbermann has a good point, and I think this is really interesting. The title of it is, and it's not Keith rambling. It's just Connor McDavid. Should you trade Connor McDavid for 8 second line players? That's the hypothetical. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bite on this. I want to know what they were talking about. And basically what his suggestion was, it was a hypothetical question, but the idea is, why is Vegas doing so well? And he said, listen, the fact is that Vegas got 4 lines of second liners. They got a whole team of second line
Which
players.
everyone keeps saying, and it is patently false.
What do you? So I wanted to know.
Cody Eakin.
I wanted to know what you guys thought.
You would not take Cody Eakin on your second line. You wouldn't take, before the season, you wouldn't have taken William Karlsson on your second line.
Would you have taken Riley Smith on your second line even?
As an expansion team, for sure.
But you wouldn't have put him on a Stanley Cup winning second line, would you?
God, no.
Probably not. He'd probably be a decent, by my prediction anyway. But he had a down year last year. I don't know. Last year, I
The
probably
whole
would have said
Panthers
no.
organization had a down year.
All right.
I would have said no.
Toronto second line. Who is it?
Marleau, Kadri, Marner. So absolutely not.
These are the guys on Vegas. Are any of these guys
I'm just throwing
better
this
than
out.
Oh, this
those
is great.
guys?
This is not my opinion.
great.
It's Keith Olbermann's.
No, let's do it.
David Clarkson.
Well, no.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, skip the guys who didn't play.
Riley Smith.
If you said Mikhail Grabowski, I'd have been like, get out.
If you name all the guys Vegas took that didn't play for Vegas, we're going to be here a while. So sorry.
All right. Thomas Tatar. Right now,
Not right now, but during the season, yeah, maybe.
he's not cracking their lineup.
Which is so strange. Dude, Vadim, probably, arguably, 2 of the best players at the beginning of the season.
Shipachyov.
Vadim Shipachyov was supposed to be like their star, and Thomas Tatar, if you said he was on Vegas at the beginning of the season, you'd be like, well, hot hell, there's some injection of talent into their lineup. He's going to be on their first line. He might even have a 30-goal season.
All right. Riley Smith?
On Vegas, for sure. On the Leafs, no.
You're putting him on a team that we think is better and deeper than Vegas. Would he crack the second line? No.
I don't think it's an optimal situation, but going into this season that you have Riley Smith on your second
I'm
line.
trying to think going
And that's
into this season.
Think of it from that perspective, right?
Thomas Nosek, Ryan Reeves.
Cody Eakin.
Ryan
Reeves
Eric
is a-
Holla. Oscar Lindberg.
Oh, boy, I don't know. Oscar Lindberg, no.
Alex Tuck.
I think the only ones
As a
that I would
flyer.
have.
A lot of AHL guys really like Tuck.
The only
heading into
to
season.
me qualified first liner they had was James Neal, and then
Yeah.
Jonathan Marchessault. I liked him,
That's a second liner for sure.
but he's as a second liner
He's
for
a
sure.
star now.
Absolutely.
Even when they signed him to
Absolutely.
the extension mid-season, I was like, come on, I don't know. He's a star.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny. It's just I had to bring this up because again, it seemed like a silly thing to say, and like really on terms of like look at their defense. Skip to their defense, Jesse.
Braden McNabb, Nate Schmidt, Derek Englund, Zach Whitecloud, Brad Hunt, Lucas Spiza, Clayton Stoner, Colin Miller, Shea Theodore.
So Colin Miller was a guy we talked about a lot,
From Boston,
hoping that the Leafs would get him. He was Boston's 5th or 6th D.
and Nate Schmidt was the other guy.
Nate Schmidt was, a lot of us pegged him as a guy who was going to break out. So, okay, fair enough. Braden McNabb, I was like, yeah, adequate. Okay.
But second pairing, would you say?
Not on most teams, I don't think, no.
How much does the highest paid defenseman on Vegas get paid?
Braden
No.
McNabb, 2.25.
Not like Clayton Stoner, like actually in the lineup.
Yeah, because Clayton Stoner hasn't played.
How much does Clayton Stoner make?
Like 3 something.
Okay, yeah, actually in the lineup.
Braden McNabb, 2.25. Random guess.
I think it's Derek Englund.
No
Or
way.
no,
way.
he makes $1 million. You're right. Sorry, Derek Englund's Calgary contract.
Yes. Huge.
Oh, Lucas Spiza.
Was you at 4?
Like 3.5, I think.
I can't see the current year. Cap Friendly already switched over next year.
Oh, I'm
so I can't.
pretty sure it's Lucas Spiza, man.
But right now,
I sort of wish they hadn't done that.
yeah.
I would like to see. I would
can't
still like to see
what
last year as a
Lucas Spiza's
comparison.
Deal is
It makes
I go
sense
back.
because people are, I'm sure they look at the site traffic and people are starting to look into the draft and things like that.
I know, but just make it available.
It's
Why
Lucas
can't I see
Pisa
that?
at 3.6.
What's Brandon McNabb make, just so for me?
2.5.
Close. It was close. I said 2.25.
2.5, and I think that's the extension he signed. So I don't think he even made that this season.
Yeah, he did not make. He made. I have to go to the other page. He made 1.7 this year.
Wow.
To Keith Olbermann's point, everyone's talking about, oh, they could get Carlson, they could get Tavares. What for? What for? Look at them. They're great.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Like, they are the anti-Golden State Warriors. They are literally without star power.
Like,
And it's, I mean, they have emerging stars, of course, but like Golden State is like Durant, Curry, Green, Klay Thompson. Like you got all these like star, all-star. That whole team could be the first team all-star in the Western Conference.
or the best Raptor.
Yeah, or the best all of them could be the best Raptor. The Golden Knights are like void of that completely.
Like, I'm trying to think of other crazy underdog stories in sports. Like Leicester City, you bring up. Like Team Greece at the 2004 Euro.
Yep.
Won every game.
Well, and then here's the next question. And I hate to say this because it sounds like I'm a non-believer, but right now I am. I am a believer.
careful, you're going to be in the intro.
What happens next season? Like, are they going to make the playoffs? You know what I mean? Like, is that not a valid question to ask? I mean, it's a valid question on any team.
Man.
But in this particular case, can you see Vegas making the playoffs next year if everything regresses back to where it should be?
Forget Vegas. Colorado and New Jersey made the playoffs this year. Like, it's that kind of league, man. It's a crazy, crazy league. How the hell do you predict the West next year? Like, I'm gonna predict. Like, let's say this conversation comes up like at the very beginning of October, late September. We're talking again. I'm gonna put Vegas there stubbornly. Like, I'm gonna have to tell myself,
We can't
all right,
not
this
believe.
slot is for Vegas. But if we went just purely by like what I actually think, no, I would never put them there. But here they are. Here they freaking are. I don't get it. And it was so strange. Like, I'm watching the game last night, and I'm like, all right, let's really pay attention to what Vegas does better than Washington. Let's really pay attention to it. And Washington's got more skill, I'm pretty sure. But again, Vegas is just relentless up front with the forecheck. They're so fast. They work so hard. And the goals Washington got is when Vegas looked a little lazy. Trying to remember the Backstrom goal. Oshie in front to Backstrom. Vegas got
Oshie made the most ridiculous pass on earth.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, which
Well, he
one?
made one by accident.
One of them was like,
by accident.
yeah.
And the John Carlson one was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, like look at the goals Washington had to score versus Vegas.
It was like Washington was doing backflips to score goals, and
Yeah.
Vegas is like, poop.
All right, Riley Smith is going to miss the net. William Carlson will collect it and score. Riley Smith will get on the ice against Brooks Orpik. All right, well, that's not fair.
Anyone against Brooks Orpik.
Okay, so we have players who we've addressed as not all that good on Vegas, but like, who's bad?
I don't think anyone's. I mean,
Well, the guys who should be bad aren't bad.
aren't bad.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, it's
makes-
like Spies is a guy. England's another guy. Was like, what? England, really?
But like, for example, Brooks Orpik is bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were kind of able to take advantage of him.
Well, it was like when Chicago won a couple years ago. Was it Kimmo Timonen that they had? Or
Yes.
And they basically played Duncan Keith for 45 minutes so that Kimmo Timonen never had to play.
And I think they had like Michael Roosevelt, and then he got hurt or something like that. Yeah, it was basically like the Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook show.
Right.
And also, Halmerson made a name for himself, and I think Johnny Oduya was the fourth guy in that mix.
Yes. Simpler times. If
Sorry,
only-
that's really throwing me off. What the hell is
well,
that?
no one can hear that. First
I know.
off. I
we
have
can
no
hear
idea.
it through a soundproof door.
There's some humming going on outside. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Sorry, my bad.
Don't worry about it.
I shouldn't have addressed it.
Yeah, probably not.
I just want to make sure we. Is there an alarm or something?
No.
What the hell is that?
It'll be fine. We would have heard the alarm. There's an alarm in here.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, it's it's the vacuum.
Are they vacuuming with like one of those War of the World alien machines?
We use mosquitoes here, actually. Mosquitoes to vacuum. That's what it sounds like. So here's the question. Tom Wilson.
Adam, 5 games or 10?
Well, I wanted to get your opinions first because I have mine, but I first off want Jesse to change the battery in the camera because I think that's really important. And second, I would like we could discuss the Tom Wilson hit on Jonathan Marchessault, which, by the way, I finally know how to spell.
How do you spell it?
Marchessalut. Thank you.
I specifically remember when Marchessault was on the Lightning, I think it was, and I referred to him as Jonathan Marshmallow because I was like, who the hell is this guy? I've never even heard of him. And he had like a 2-goal game.
And he was like, I'll
against the
show
Leafs.
you, Steve Dangle.
Holy hell. Did he? This season has never convinced me. This season has convinced me more than any other season. I know nothing.
Yeah.
Not just about hockey in general.
All right, you guys, lay
Jesse?
it on me. What are your takes?
Well, I want your take and your take first.
no. I want to tell you
I
why
already
you're
called
wrong.
last take on
All
this.
right.
I called last take.
Call last
Steven?
take. Okay, well, can I read someone else's take?
Sure.
If I really agree with it. Okay. So we got Justin Bourne, of course.
That's really not fair. What I'd really like is just your take. Justin Bourne's
Okay,
take
fine.
is
I'll give you my
actually
take.
educated.
I'll give you my take. and
No,
then
read
I'll
Justin
read
Bourne.
it.
Don't
Okay.
tease it and then not do it.
Tom Wilson almost crosses the line like every third game. But until the league adopts, and maybe it should, a cumulative asshole penalty, the Marchand, gotta go case by case. And while his latest hit sucked, wasn't a suspendable offense. So to me, because of the lack of head contact, if this is just called properly on the ice as at least a 2-minute minor for interference, maybe even a 5 for interference, we don't even talk about it. It was dealt with. Or if he doesn't get suspended, we go, well, okay, I understand. But because it wasn't even called, now people want a little bit of blood. I have a hard time looking at this and going, yeah, suspend him. And also, the thing about Tom Wilson is I don't think you can suspend Tom Wilson 1 game. You've already suspended him for 3
That's
in these
interesting.
playoffs. You've
But aren't
already
you-
suspended him for 3
But
in
if you're
these playoffs.
taking it case by case, then you have to.
But it's cumulative. That's why he got 3 in the first place. That's why Kadri got 3 in the first place. It wasn't just the incident. It was, oh, well, that's Tom, who we've had to speak to a few times. Oh, that's Naz, who we've had to speak to a few times. You know? Marchand, I think, got a 5-gamer at some point.
Definitely not in the playoffs, though.
No,
that was
definitely
the end of
not in
last
the
season. He
playoffs.
speared someone in the nuts. Dodson, I
Rafi
think.
Torres, I think he got like 10, and then the next one was like 20 or 30. And the next one, they're like, all right, you're basically out of the league. It was like half a season.
And you can join the Leafs on Robidaw Island before Robidaw got there.
That's true.
That's what happened.
That's true. I wonder if he even got like a shirt.
Yeah, do you get gear?
Blue splash
That's a
pants.
good
Did
question.
he even get those? I hope
Jesse.
he got blue splash pants.
Your thoughts on the hit?
Tom Wilson on the ice should have got 5 in a game and been kicked out,
Suspension, though.
but not suspended afterwards.
Okay,
should
so
have been kicked out of the game last night. And refereeing in the NHL is a joke, and they should have got it right.
it was blindside for sure, and there are arguments to be made against that, but you can't argue that it wasn't late. It was an extremely late hit.
You can't just, he literally just hit a guy who didn't have the puck. How is that not a game misconduct?
And like, it was, I'm trying to remember how many strides it was. It could have been charging as well.
Yes, call it whatever.
It wasn't a clean hit. It's our standard. I feel like dirty hit has just become synonymous with head check, and it's just not. It's just not. If it's interference, man, it's interference. If it's blindside, it's blindside. If it's charging, it's charging. And if there's an injury on the play, if Marchessault doesn't return to that game, are we having the same conversation?
No, it's probably different. He's probably suspended for a game.
But Marchessault came back.
Yeah, if he sits on the ice for 10 minutes and they have to call out a stretcher and bring him out there, then Wilson's definitely suspended right now.
This is the other dangerous thing, man. Like, so concussions don't just come from head checks anymore. Well, anymore, sorry. They don't come from head checks. And it's always been that way. He got hit hard enough in the shoulder that he might have got his egg scrambled a little bit. It was a dirty hit. So if Marchessault suffers a concussion from a hit you're not allowed to do, should he be suspended?
No, you can't suspend a guy for the injury that you caused. That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. Like if you break someone's leg, you don't say, "Oh, you're suspended 6 to 8 weeks." That's not how that works. That's ridiculous.
Although some would have it that way.
Some would. You got to face the punishment that you inflicted.
When Tom Barrasso back in the day swung his stick and broke Yannick Perreault's arm. When Yannick Perreault was making a wraparound with the Leafs, and Tom Barrasso's stick hit him there, and they suspended Tom Barrasso for because he was a wild man. They suspended him for 2 games, and Yannick Perreault was out to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and he was the Leafs' best faceoff guy. And I remember thinking that jerk should have to sit until Yannick Perreault can come back. I was 12.
John Ferguson Jr. is not a popular guy in this city, but he had a great quote after the Cam Jansen thing, which is coming up again. He ended up getting suspended, and he's like, the real punishment would be making him play 20 minutes a game.
No, that was a good one.
To say that in front of microphones, a general manager, that's awesome.
Would you like to hear what I think?
Yes.
Tom Wilson should absolutely not have been suspended for that.
Oh, Adam, you're just saying that.
Absolutely not.
You can't face turn.
I don't think anybody really thinks.
No, I think there are people. Here's the thing: you can't punish a guy for something the ref missed. As in, if it's not a hit that is suspendable under normal terms, right? Which that isn't. You want to get the penalty right during the game, but you missed the penalty. You can't go after the game and people will disagree with me on this, but I don't think that you can be out for blood if the ref just misses a call. And that's what it was. It's a missed call. The maximum he gets for that, to me, maybe 2 minutes. That's a charging call. And maybe an interference. You get one or the other. They're not going to give him 4. You know that. And yes, it was a hard hit, and yes, it was dirty, but that's Tom Wilson, kids. That's Tom Wilson's rep. That's what he does. That's what makes him effective. That's why it's kind of funny that when he says stuff like, "Oh, well, I would have been suspended for this many games." It's because of shit like this. Now, if you suspend a guy for that, you're going to have to suspend half the league. You really are. That happens all the time. It happens all the time.
Not like that.
On.
Oh, he splatted him. Roadkill. No, man.
Yeah, that doesn't happen
so.
all the time. That's ridiculous.
Not quite like that. Not quite. Now, another interesting. There's a bunch of interesting factors, just layers like an onion. So, Marchessault said it was a dirty hit, and the league will take care of it. Tom Wilson said that Marchessault told him it was a good hit. So one of them is a dirty liar. I wonder which one.
I'm going to go with Tom Wilson on that one.
Adam, you're a noted Tom Wilson hater, so of course you would say that. I think it was Jonathan Marchessault, personally.
After getting labeled from behind, do you really think Jonathan Marchessault is going to go, "Hey, man, thanks for that. It was great. Great hit. Great clean hockey hit. Thank you."
The only time I can think of that really happening is, remember Phaneuf just destroyed Stefan DaCosta's life? Leaf Sens?
Not specifically, no.
It's a absolutely fantastic hit, like textbook, perfectly clean. And DaCosta just gets up like, and he goes on the bench and the camera's on him, and you can see him mouth clear as day, "My fault."
Oh, it is head down.
It was 100% his fault. And
Put him up.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Ottawa?
You're not going to talk about
Ottawa?
The most important part of the play where David Perron hops off the bench to attack
Yeah,
a guy.
Sorry, that was the other part.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that factored into it, where they're like, okay, how about we just offset this?
It is, I mean...
or the other one, I don't think the refs had any idea what was going on. I think they saw the puck get sent up ice. They were paying attention to that. They're wondering why the hell Marchessault's dead on the ice, and they probably didn't even notice there was a 6th guy out there because they were looking at Jonathan Marchessault.
And how do you get called for a cross-checking penalty, but not a too many men on the ice penalty when you're the 6th guy on the ice and you can still commit a penalty?
They might not have even realized it.
They clearly didn't, else they wouldn't have called it that way.
It's funny.
I think the whole thing was messed up.
Yeah.
Because you got to call, first of all, you got to call some sort of penalty on Tom Wilson, and then you have to call some sort of penalty on David Perron.
Hold on. Was there one thing I was confused on about that play? Was there a ref with eyes on Tom Wilson and Jonathan Marchessault when that play went down? Because I can see
Couldn't
them.
have been.
Yeah, because if honestly, if they saw it, they would have called that. right?
So you're saying,
So maybe they missed
the
it.
refs missed it, so it's okay?
No, I'm saying in the confusion, I didn't say it was okay. At no point have I said it's okay. What I'm saying is refs are going to miss stuff. It is going to happen. That's part of the game. I wonder if when Perron jumped on, they were like trying to get their bearings. It's one of those like, wicked happenstance, and they're probably not thinking, oh, I better, you know what? There's a whole bunch of shit happening. I better count how many jerseys are on the ice.
Perron might have also not have noticed that he was the extra guy because he was sort of going for like a regular line change.
Yeah.
It looked like to me.
Yeah, but nobody was even near the bench.
It did seem.
I guess you're right.
Now let's say if nobody was near the bench, and that's exactly what happened. How is that not a suspension?
So
the 10-game thing.
Because he didn't initiate. There was no altercation that was initiated
Sure there was.
from his being on the ice. He didn't instigate a fight or engage in a fight.
So
which
because
is,
he didn't
David
instigate,
Clarkson.
no, which is the specific wording. Like something happened. David Clarkson joined into a fight.
But he didn't participate in the fight.
Yeah, but he joined off the bench to participate in a fight. David Perron, technically in the rules, he never jumped off of the bench to engage into an altercation because there was no altercation on the ice. There was nobody fighting. So he didn't join into anything. He just left the bench for technically too many men on the ice, which he didn't even get called for, which is my point, is the refs just screwed up the whole situation.
Yeah, I wonder if that hit though threw them. I feel like it did.
100%.
So this is interesting. There were only 4 penalties last night. I didn't know this. I thought there were way more. In the first period, Andrei Burakovsky boarding against Cody Eakin, dumb, led to the first goal. Luckily, he assisted on the tying goal. In the second period,
This is the best part.
Vegas got called for too many men on the ice, and it was served by David Perron. I didn't even notice that.
That's funny.
So he serves that earlier in the game, and then when he actually does, he doesn't even get called. He gets called for cross-checking.
So this is, okay, so...
By the
man,
way, it's nice to know teams other than the Leafs get called for too many men.
yeah, seriously, man,
Because we
they
sure
got to
get
fix that.
Yeah, they do. And
Who's that
also,
on? That's got to be on Babs. Anyway,
also, there's some of the young players could maybe pick up the fucking pace going to the bench, but
probably. So the penalties coming out of this, and I didn't even realize this in the melee. David Perron cross-checking against Alex Ovechkin, and yeah, that's pretty strange.
When he's not a player on the ice.
Yeah. Tom Wilson interference against Marchessault. So I didn't even realize that Wilson got penalized for that.
Yeah.
So
he did
the
get
refs get it right then?
No, because do you remember they huddled up and they looked up at the Jumbotron and they saw Wilson
Yeah.
hit Marchessault and they're like, we'll give him 2 minutes.
but then
and they
they-
gave him offsetting. It was 4 on 4 for the next 2
So they
minutes.
did penalize him.
Yeah,
That's
he got 2 minutes. It was 4 on 4 after that.
2
'Cause
players in the wrong.
They're just like, oh, we don't know what happened. We'll just give them offsetting penalties and that's it.
My favorite part is when they look up at the Jumbotron and then they try to tell us that penalties are not reviewable. That is hilarious.
joke.
Are you kidding me? Just do it or don't.
I had a tweet go pretty well last night where I was basically like, you're not allowed to review penalties, except when they do. But you can't. But you can. And they do sometimes. But nah. It's like, dude, I've seen them do it. I've seen them do it several times. We've talked about it on the show.
It is sort of funny that if the league is so dedicated, which I don't believe they are, to getting the call 100% correct 100% of the time, then you should allow reviewing penalties.
You know how we were like, we need offside reviews, and then they introduced it, and we were like, oh God, what have we done?
Listen, I don't want it. But if that's what the league says it wants to do, if that's the stated goal, then how could you not?
I think in incidents like that where the play is obviously stopped for a while, like especially when a guy's down on the ice, you got a second to take a peek. And especially like when it happens to the home team, like maybe that's part of your home ice advantage is Vegas is able to go on the video thing and go, look at this. And then if it's their player, maybe you don't show it. Maybe
and you hear
show
the crowd's
like
reaction when they're all huddled up, and you hear when they show the replay because the crowd goes woo, and they're like, oh,
What do they do?
They go woo as a crowd. Multiply that by 20,000, and that's the crowd. And then the refs make the call, but no, can't review it.
can't review it except we just did, but we didn't.
But we didn't. Anyways,
But we could. But we won't.
How do they call penalties on things they never saw?
on the biggest
they-
stage of
That's
the
my
entire
thing,
season.
man. It's weird. It's so weird.
Is
Okay.
the rule is the rule or whatever the way it's officiated perfectly imperfect?
Yeah, it's
Like, do
if
we
it was
get better than
perfectly
this?
imperfect, we would be okay with it. But I think it's so imperfect in trying to be perfect that it is bad. It's just bad.
I guess. I think it's so perfect at being Mediocre.
Like here's the thing: we either accept the fact that there's going to be mistakes, or we go full computer automation.
Well,
Yeah.
What side do we
It's
want to do?
It's one or the other.
This middle ground shit isn't
Yeah.
working.
so the
pick
other
a
thing,
side.
though, is when something is missed, people go, oh, well, that means suspension because they got it wrong on the ice.
No, and that's my point
That's what
from
some
earlier.
people think, though.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. You can't do that. That hit, sorry, it's not suspendable. It's not. Suspensions are for grievous stuff, things that you never want to see. And yes, you don't want to see predatory hits like what Tom Wilson threw, but come on, that is not a suspendable hit.
It's close, but you're right. Anyone else throws that hit, we go, oh, it's questionable.
And by the way, I'm going to put this out there. The only thing that should be reviewable, goals. That's it.
You don't want offside
No
reviews?
offside reviews. No. They miss it, they
Puck
miss
over
it.
the glass?
No. Puck over the glass review?
Yeah.
Do they do that?
You can't, don't they take a look, see if it bounced off a little
Oh.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I think they should call it. Call it as they see it. If you're going to have human beings ref the game, let their actions be human.
You know, I don't think I hate it.
I would rather that. It'd speed up the pace of the game, except for the goals. The goals I understand. The goals I get. Everything else, you want to have a human being or do you want to have a computer?
So tough. Well, it's like Boston.
And also,
had a
they can't
puck-
even get the goals. There's certain times when we can't even really tell. Why do they not have cameras that are this big on the bottom end, this big, on the bottom of the crossbar, so they can look down and see?
Yeah, is the goal cam in the right place?
No,
I feel like it's not.
It's on the goaltender's ass.
I don't think us three sitting here are smarter than the people who make cameras. I think if they could
You
do
know?
it, they would
Jesse
have done it.
Jesse.
Possibly.
Like the blue line
They hired
cams.
Kid Rock to do the All-Star game.
I know. I know the blue line cams, the one they have like right down the line. They had trouble with those because of just arena configurations.
Yeah, and they're shot with BlackBerry bolts.
Yeah, and every arena couldn't just fit an HD camera in there. So like it's a thing they can't do because of construction, and architecture. So
I
And
don't
in
know.
Carolina, your backup goalie can't sit with the rest of the team.
Exactly.
Still my favorite thing.
I don't think that's the only arena.
No?
I'm pretty sure the Islanders.
How do? Well,
I think Brooklyn as
he
well.
sits
I mean,
in
that's
the
not a
tunnel.
hockey arena.
Well, fair enough.
half the
I think there's more
half the
teams.
arena can't see the ice.
I think there's more. I think there's more than two. Man. It's funny. Maybe we think the NHL is technologically further ahead than it is. Like, I remember when I was doing KHL highlights, the Western Conference teams like Moscow, St. Petersburg, etc., they had HD games. They had HD highlights. The Eastern Conference teams, Novokuznetsk, Amur Khabarovsk.
Bless you.
Yeah, yeah. All their games looked like they were shot in a BlackBerry Bold. But then when it got to the KHL final, so you got a team
I
like
prefer the Curve, BlackBerry Curve.
well, it's a good one. Or what about the one that was basically an iPhone?
Those new ones where they try. Rim is back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No. No, they had, I'm trying to remember the final. Dynamo Moscow against Tractor Chelyabinsk. Well, they don't have HD quality in Chelyabinsk.
Right.
So they had to drive an HD truck to Chelyabinsk in order to get it. So maybe the Leafs could have this technology in the ACC and all the offsides would be perfect.
Yeah.
But then not every arena would be able to get it, or
But when we call up Arizona, they probably won't have that replay.
Gus, what do you think? Look fine to me. Like that's their camera. There's a guy named Gus. Katsaros.
I had a good friend tell me once that I can't wait till this game is done.
Oh, I did that.
I was
It was a
quoting Steve Dangle.
bastardization of something that my friend said to me once. Hockey. No, sorry. That's not the quote. That makes it sound like I don't like hockey.
I think I nailed it.
It's hockey. It'll be a great game when it's done.
when it's done.
I hate hockey. They should make it better.
And screw
Quote Steve
everyone who
Dangle.
subscribed to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hey,
We don't need to fix
why don't you hit
anyway.
unsubscribe today?
Yeah.
That's
My
what the YouTube video says.
Click dislike. Regardless, go fuck yourself. No, the original quote was Toronto, it'll be a great city when it's done, from my friend Will.
Right.
Will Moles. Because there's a lot of traffic.
That's cool. I'm glad you mentioned his last name because everybody needs to
Give
know.
him credit. Let's make a list of the things I can do right. End of list. Done.
All right, we got to talk about Ottawa.
Do we?
So it comes out that Daniel Alfredson speaks to a reporter, and it was supposed to be, from what I understand, on the condition of anonymity, but he brought that up. It wasn't even on that condition. It was supposed to be, from what we hear, Steve, and correct me if I'm wrong here.
Blogger.
Off the record. He spoke to a blogger, and midway through what she thought was an interview, correct me if I'm wrong again, he says this is off the record.
Yeah.
But he'd already spoken he'd already said several things that made it into this interview, into the blog, which were the most inflammatory thing, of course, which I'm sure you've read, is it would be great if we could get a new owner.
Yeah. Yeah, which,
yeah.
pretty poorly kept secret.
This is a guy who signed in Detroit when he could have spent his last year in Ottawa. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who rejoined the team as a consultant and left on his own. Is anybody surprised by this?
No. Oh, that he said it?
Yeah.
Or the events, that it was revealed that he said it?
I guess because Daniel Alfredson is normally such a publicly controlled guy, something like this coming out is kind of out of character. But at the same time, is he speaking anything that any Ottawa fan isn't feeling right now?
No, and I think that's why it went away so quickly. Was anyone talking about that today?
No.
Was it a topic on Tim and Sid?
We asked CJ about it, but that was only because we didn't have anybody on yesterday to talk about it. So
what did he say?
Today.
Do you remember?
He said same thing along the lines. Like, yeah, that's the flavor in Ottawa right now. Everybody thinks Melnyk's doing a bad job.
Now, Gary Bettman did come out yesterday because he had his Stanley Cup press conference on the same day that quote comes out, and he said the Ottawa Senators are not for sale.
Well, okay, great.
Here's the thing.
His word is mud.
Eugene Melnyk sort of strikes me as a guy who, if you challenge him, he's going to dig his heels in. And I feel like now with Ottawa, he's going to dig his heels in.
You think? Why? Because of this?
Yeah.
This was the thing?
I think this whole movement.
Oh.
I think he wants to. It was the same stuff. Leafs and Bruins in 5. It's that same. He's got this like FU attitude, which good for him. That's how he did well in business. He owns an NHL team, right?
Yep.
He's done well. And
you don't win those in a raffle.
He's got this whole FU all. I'm going to prove you wrong, and this could be really great for Ottawa because if he's got that kind of an attitude, then you could be dealing with an owner who's highly, highly motivated
to do something dumb.
Or do something good.
It could be cool if he goes to Pierre Dorian, here's some money to do something crazy. Re-sign Eric. Whatever you got to do to get it done, you go out and do it. If he does that,
$15 million a season.
But he's going to be hands-on. How about you do this? How about you do that? Who was the ownership who came out recently? They had their hand in the cookie jar way too much. Like, it's never good. We've said it for years and years. I don't know why nobody learns. When ownership gets involved, generally speaking, you make stupid moves. So maybe it's not good if Eugene gets involved. But the part of the story a couple of people got upset at me about.
What was that?
Well, so I was just talking about kind of the ethics involved in the quote coming out.
Oh, man. Twitter loves journalistic ethics. Oh, my God.
Well, and I piped up. So, no. You put your word on a public forum. It's out there to judge. But basically what I said was I was surprised she would do that. She's well within her right, okay? So you're always on the record. You're always on the record, okay? Screw this off the record stuff. They can tell you off the record, but a good journalist is always on the record, okay?
Fair.
But I'm sure that happens all the time with reporters, and probably most reporters he's dealt with, he's been able to go halfway through the conversation. By the way, sure it goes without saying, this is off the record. You know why? Because they want to keep Alfredson as a source or something like that. Like, she's torpedoed him as a source, probably. Is he going to give her anything?
Well, I wonder if she has. Like, part of me wonders if he doesn't mind this being out there anyway.
Well, then there's that. Yeah, can you make it seem like it's your fault? Maybe.
I'd take that hit.
Maybe.
I'm more than willing to take that hit.
So deep. I feel like we're speculating a lot here.
Yeah, we are.
Well, that's what this show is built on.
That's like 3 levels.
Jesse,
this is Ocean's 13 speculation level right here.
This needs to be at least 90 minutes. 60 plus 30. Okay? There's going to be a little speculation going on. Mm-hmm. No, but she didn't do anything wrong. I was just surprised because.
So that's the funny thing. So normally she's, I don't know how familiar.
I don't know much about her. No.
Okay. So from what I understand and from what I read from some of the reaction, she's always been above board.
Okay. And so, she was in this case.
So of course.
Didn't she do something wrong? Wasn't off the record?
Well, no, you can't just halfway through be like, by the way, you're maybe betraying their trust a little bit, but it's
So wait, you're
technically the journalistic thing to do.
You think she did nothing wrong
Journalistically, no.
by releasing an off-the-record statement publicly?
You have to
He
say off the record
randomly-
first is how it works. Basically, you have to state off the record before you answer anything. None of this is on the record. You cannot quote me on this. I will deny it. And that's sort of the way it's supposed to
So
work.
you think they had the conversation and he thought it was off the record and she didn't
that's
say
exactly
it was off
how they're phrasing it. But this is what makes
He
me
called
think.
shotgun from the back seat. Like, no, you're not. No,
This
you're
is
not
what
in
makes
the
me
front
think,
seat
though.
here.
This is what makes me think that there's something weird here. Because if she's been, from what I've read, always above board, always, her integrity has always been intact, then there's a chance that this was supposed to get out. And that they didn't want it to look that way.
Nothing happens by
But
accident.
there's a chance. Yeah. Because if somebody who literally has these, who's got a reputation for good journalism, all of a sudden, for some reason, weird that this would be a thing.
What are her affiliations?
It's a good question.
Is she with TSN?
I
I was
don't
going
know.
to say if she's not with one of the big two, obviously Sportsnet and TSN, it kind of makes more sense. Like there's less at stake. You know what I mean? So of course he would release it.
Well, I mean,
through
there's
her.
a lot at stake if she's not with them because she's obviously created a huge following on her own, which I think is great. So I'm just looking it up right now. Her name is Susan Sharing. She's a former Ottawa Sun columnist, and I'm assuming she's just running her own blog. So she built her name probably working with the Ottawa Sun.
Okay, a little bit like Howard Berger.
Yeah, and her blog is called On the City from the Burbs, if you want to check it out. And according to Sharing, Alfredson later told her that his comments were off the record, but she published them in her blog while noting that no such agreement had been made before the interview. So they had the interview, and it was an interview. And then afterwards, he says, off the record, which to me says there's something weird.
So I interviewed a player one time for junior hockey, and he was a draft prospect. He was projected to go in the first round, and it was a long interview. It was like 15, 20 minutes.
problem?
No, yeah, and let's try to play Guess Who.
Please don't.
Does he have a mustache?
By the way,
no. I know. It's brutal.
Candlestick in the dressing room.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
No, so this player was projected to go in the first round, and we're talking, it's a long interview, 15, 20 minutes or whatever. And, we're talking about all kinds of ridiculous stuff. And he starts talking about his prom party and how there was supposed to be a keg or a bunch of kegs. This guy was setting up a post-prom party, and it was like $20 each to get in. Well, basically, the guy throwing the party stiffed everyone.
Oh.
And it was this huge scam, and he's telling me the story and whatever. He's about to get drafted. And, right after he does it, he goes, I didn't like how I worded that. Can I do it again? And he's not the bad guy in the story. It wasn't like, and then I got plastered, hammered, and whatever. But he was in the presence of alcohol, so he was worried about that. So I go, okay, sure, yeah, let's record it again. We'll do a different take. So he does it again. And he goes, okay, yeah, felt good about that one. And about an hour later, I get a call from him after we said our goodbyes and everything. He's like, I spoke to my parents, and I would really, really appreciate it if you took that part out. And I did.
Well, you got to
have
use your
to.
judgment, right?
I didn't have to, though. So you got to be careful with what you say, man. When there's a microphone in your face, there's a reason players are boring. They're worried about that moment. I didn't have to take it out, but I did. It's obviously water under the bridge now. They made the NHL, so who cares?
Yeah.
But they were worried about that could have hurt their draft stock.
Sure. Absolutely. Which is,
A little bit ridiculous.
a little bit ridiculous, but understandable given how sensitive people are. Wasn't it? Oh, no, we can't actually. There was, we heard a story, that there was a coach that may not have been hired because of the sound of their voice.
Oh,
And we can't-
that's out there.
Is that out there?
No, yeah, that was out there. It was John Hines. John Hines. I'm trying to remember the exact report, but basically there was a team that interviewed him I want to say it was Ryan Lambert who wrote about this. There was a team that was worried about hiring him because they were worried that their players wouldn't take him seriously because of he's like short and his voice is high or something like that.
Unbelievable.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah.
I just want to throw something at you that just came up in my Twitter feed, but I think it's important. So Rick Westhead is obviously doing a lot of Rick Westhead, who has blocked inexplicably blocked Steve.
I've seen everyone talking about it, and I'm like,
so the National Hockey League Players Association and the NHL put together a concussion, a way of basically it's a poster. And it's if you think you or a teammate might have a concussion, tell your trainer. Here are the symptoms, and there's like an actual poster. There's a picture of a hockey player, and there's like a
circle around his head. Good, I wouldn't have been able to identify it.
And it says recognize the signs: knocked out even briefly, pressure on the head, dizziness, vision changes, behavioral personality, whatever. So concussions, how to spot a symptom. Rick Westhead tweeted this as a part of his article, and this is part 2. And by the way, I have a ton of respect for what he's doing with this concussion research. He said this, as NHL and NHLPA drafted a concussion warning poster, NHL medical consultant Dr. Willem, and forgive me on the pronunciation.
Defoe.
Willem Miwuzi emailed NHL lawyer Julie Grand with a mock version of the poster for a good laugh. So what do you think the mock version of the concussion poster said?
I don't know.
Jesse,
what do you mean
for
a laugh?
The concussion poster I just showed you, which by the way still hangs in French and English in the NHL dressing rooms.
Okay. Oh, so this already exists.
They did a mock version of it that they shared between the NHL peeps.
Okay.
Between these two people at least.
Yes.
What do you think it said?
If you're puking, if they did it for a laugh, if it's the playoffs, forget about it.
The mock poster read, concussion symptoms, feeling like a giant pussy.
What? Let me see this.
That is according to Rick Westhead's direct tweet.
Whoa.
And they said they did that for a good laugh.
139 retweets. Yeah, it's going pretty viral.
I encourage you to look up Rick Westhead's stuff on this one. R. Westhead on Twitter. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Also, I have no idea how to
pronounce that last name. I can't give you more context on that story. I encourage you to read it.
I love you, Adam.
But I had to bring that up. Crazy. So here's a fun thing, and I want to thank Ryan Fancy for bringing this one up.
How does that get out there?
I know.
Wow. Anyway,
totally switching gears here.
Yep.
But Ryan Fancy rightly pointed out that Tim Gleason is no longer on the Leafs cap friendly page.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Thank you, Ryan.
Things you just forget about. I think Jared Cowan also.
And would Joffrey Lupul and Stefan Robitaille be off too?
Yep. Robitaille already was. Lupul is new news.
Yeah, Lupul's gone.
By new news, I mean news.
Yeah. Will they ever re-sign him?
Yes.
No.
As a goalie. Because they need another one.
Leafs made a signing today, and it was a goalie, Casimir Kaskisuo. Now, normally that wouldn't be okay. Well, they signed a guy who went 13-13, had a 260 something and a 9 something save percentage. 915 save percentage in the AHL.
I want to say 913 or something. I believe he was like the Chicago Wolves' best goalie.
Yeah,
and that team had Oscar Dansk and Maxime Lagacé, who had good runs with Vegas this year.
Right,
it was a 914.
914.
So he did good. Although the Wolves probably were not the best team in the AHL.
They were okay.
Our
standard is the Marlies.
What's interesting is Kaskisuo has signed here for 2 years, and it's a two-way deal. Mm-hmm. But does that further complicate, and this is where I thought this was interesting, does that further complicate what's going on with Sparks, Pickard, and I'm going to add Curtis McElhaney to that as well? Absolutely.
You should add him to the mix. I don't think it complicates it necessarily. It just puts emphasis on what we've been saying for a while. They got a decision to make. They got decisions to make. Like, out of all the deals, Kaskisuo is probably the most flexible. And it probably is an indicator that this is something the Leafs are already working on. The
or have
whole
worked
situation.
On. They know what's going on.
I'm sure Dubas has his wish list. They have these 5 guys. Anderson, obviously, McElhaney, Sparks, Pickard, Kaskisuo, and they're not going to have all 5 next year. Unless they do, because the Leafs.
Yeah, why not?
They have a second AHL team again. It's not going to go down that way.
Why can't you just lose Captain Picard and then just run what you're running right now?
See, Pickard's interesting because he knows what it's like to make $1 million You know what I mean? So I have a hard time believing he's going to sign some deal where he plays in the AHL full time again. Like I wouldn't be totally shocked.
No, that's why I say you lose him.
Oh, right.
And then you
trade
have
him.
4, and then you're good.
He's
But
an
then you
RFA.
still got Sparks on a one-way. I wouldn't be totally shocked to see Pickard bolt to Europe. Maybe
Why
the
can't
KHL, something like
Sparks
that.
just be AHL goalie again?
He's going to be making, I think,
Doesn't
$750,000
matter.
whatever to do
Just the
so.
league.
There's money.
He has to clear waivers, I think, at the beginning of the season.
See,
which
that's
he
the key.
won't.
That's the key.
No, does
will
he
not-
have? Does
I
he
think
have
he
to
does.
clear waivers?
I think he does. I'm not totally
Can't you
certain.
start him? Isn't there like a thing you could start him in the minors and then he doesn't have to go down because he's already been down?
There might be like some sort of beginning of the season thing.
Yeah.
I'm not really certain.
Okay.
I feel like they've got a true asset there in that one of those two guys can be traded for something if it needs to be a part of a deal.
They have the problem everyone should hope for. Too much.
And they still have Curtis McElhaney there if they need him. But I feel like one of those two guys should be up instead of Curtis McElhaney, as much as I was pro Curtis McElhaney all season.
Totally. But
I think that we saw Freddie Anderson needed somebody who could take over.
Yeah,
I love
whether they play McElhaney more or not, Freddie needs to play less.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So do you trust Curtis McElhaney in 30 games, or do you trust Calvin Pickard or Garrett Sparks? And can you platoon those two?
All I know is the Marlies have done more resting than playing in these playoffs.
Yeah.
In part because Sparks has been so good.
Right. So it's interesting.
We'll see. No, they got decisions to make, but they're good decisions.
Travis
They're
Dermott.
Pleasant.
Travis Dermott, in an interview today, said Timothy Liljegren it won't be long before he makes the NHL.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
As in, he thinks he's got all the skill now, just needs to be a little bit stronger on the puck, as in harder to knock off. And he also seems to think he's just like he's 18, 19 years old.
Well, that'll come with meat.
Yeah.
Like once you hit like 22, 23, you just start to put on all this extra, I didn't even know weight could go there. All this meat. And he's going to be, what is he, 6'3"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
It's
won't be a
going to
small
come,
guy.
but just not yet. Time. It's called development, folks. No, I think he maybe gets the Travis Dermott treatment next year. And maybe he's on the Leafs playoff roster. Maybe he sort of gets, he gets exactly what Dermott got. Joins the Leafs. When they get eliminated, if they do, hopefully they win the cup. He gets sent back down to the Marlies and destroys worlds. That'd be nice.
But he's got to play well when he comes up. That's got to be key.
Absolutely. And Dubas has learned lessons. Like when he first came on board, before Lou basically duct taped his mouth, I remember he talked about Stuart Percy and his regrets with his development because he was kind of yo-yoed and it screwed everything up for him. I don't think they're into that. They're not interested in that. They kind of did that with Kapanen, where they're like, all right, you're there until you're overripe. Janssen, same thing. Dermott, they maybe called up a little bit early, but that was part necessity. And also,
And it turned out to be the right thing because he's gone back fully confident and ready to rock and roll.
it did. And
Like I
also,
would say with Andreas Janssen, it's made them so much better.
and it's a little bit funny that they gave Callie Rosen the treatment that I think Borgman should have been given. They
Send him down first.
They basically gave Rosen almost the entire season to develop in the A, which maybe would have benefited Borgman more. But when they played the two, Borgman looked so much better. So, I mean, hard to really fault them for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And quickly before we get to the press conference here, want to shout out longtime listener and now Sudbury Wolves official historian, Mike Camino.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so now this is not a full-time gig for him, so I'm sure he's available to do your team as well. So if you're another team listening, I'm sure he would be more than happy. But it's kind of neat. I think it's a brilliant idea for the community like in Sudbury, where the Wolves are huge. But it's great for like website hits and stuff too. Like what great, like he's going to have like historical articles on that. And I feel like NHL teams should look into that a little bit more.
Oh my God.
Like
yeah.
I know the Leafs have a team historian. His name's Kevin Shea, nice guy. Written a lot of books, and yet we don't see a lot about the team's history in like article form. And I feel like that would drive a lot of traffic. Not that they care.
And there's another, I just want to get her name right, Jen, at NHL History Girl on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not following her, you're
must.
a
Both
silly
of them.
goose. No, she's excellent. 23.3 thousand followers. That is criminally low. She's a historian, and I'm sure she'll get scooped up. Whenever she wants, really. She's good enough that I think she can go wherever she wants. She's great.
Do you think all NHL teams should have a historian? I think
NHL
so.
teams are struggling to like meet the cap floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right.
I think all NHL teams would love them, but I think they got their priorities elsewhere. The Leafs should definitely have one, and they do. You said, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I just would like to see more from them. You know?
And like the older the team is, the Vegas Golden Knights should have a team historian. You know, like it makes sense. Like Leafs, Bruins,
Canadians.
Blackhawks, Rangers. Who's the other from the original six? Detroit. And then, all right, Minnesota Wild. And then we had
But you'd be like Wild North Stars.
Keith Carney. Yeah.
North Stars had some history. They made the Stanley Cup final.
But now that's Dallas.
Well, yeah, but it's not their history. It belongs to the city.
No.
That's stupid. Don't even get me going.
No.
The Jets historian. I only had to track 8 years.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the press conference.
The presser.
More like Dale, who or Chuck?
Dangle press
More like
conference.
Dale, who or what? I'm sorry. I'm getting tired.
Adam, did you watch The Bachelor last night?
I did, and I was watching the Golden Knights.
Is it The Bachelor or The Bachelorette now?
Bachelorette.
It doesn't matter.
Do we have the
So when
we have the bios, don't we?
when it's the girl who's the star, it's called The Bachelorette.
That's correct.
So
Yes.
it's not about the contestants, it's about the person.
yes. Yes.
See, I would
Yeah,
have
the
thought they
person.
would have called it The Bachelors.
It's interesting.
Not plural.
But I think they wanted to.
No, because then you're talking about the contestants.
because it's not about the contestants, though. It's about the main
It's
guy
about
or
the girl.
It's
That's
about the
interesting.
one
Trying to find
person,
love.
not the prince.
You're not watching for the focal point, because the focal point is technically all
The other people.
buffoons tripping over each other. Yes, and fighting and throwing drinks in each other's faces. Did I nail it? Is that what happened last night? I don't know. That's what happened.
I
don't
did
know.
watch a clip where a guy, of course, first episode, guy's like, I know somebody who's not here for the right reasons, and he's got two random guys who he's just met. This is the first night.
Snake
He's like,
emoji.
Do you think I should say something? The guys are like, yeah, you should totally say something, bro. You should totally say something.
Oh God!
So there's 28
I'm like, shut your
guys.
damn mouth. Who cares why he's there? Just worry about you.
There's 28 guys on this season. Some of them are pretty interesting. And
28?
they're interesting in the way that they are uninteresting.
Did you say 28?
28, yes.
But they cut them down to 16. What's happening?
I don't
They cut
know.
that
never
is
seen a
not
full season.
that.
Yeah,
It is
no.
14. 14.
Sure. On
They
the
cut
first
them- they
episode?
cut half
Yeah,
in the
they
first
cut-
episode.
Yeah.
You're like cutting a future husband because you probably didn't even talk to them.
And there's always one lunatic who shows up in a goofy costume. And yeah, well, he got it. He got through, but there was a guy who showed up as like Big Bird or something last night and did not get through, of course, because he never does.
dude.
You
Urkel.
showed up like Bill
Remember Urkel?
Urkel.
He was Urkel from last season. It was
I don't
awful.
remember.
There was a guy with a puppet.
Oh
yeah.
No, like that doesn't work. You're automatically
yeah.
eliminated, man, because you're not cool. You're not sexy. You're an idiot.
But I thought I would put myself out there. Yeah, you thought wrong.
Yeah, don't put yourself out there.
I
on the
want
first
to take
date.
you through some of the 28 guys who showed up last night, including David, the venture capitalist from Colorado. He's 25. He doesn't look 25. He looks like he could be like 32.
Let me see this guy.
Look at David.
That guy is not 5 years younger than me. Get out of my face.
Adam, is this man 25?
No,
This grown-ass man.
no, he is definitely older than I am.
Is that guy's sister Katie Hopkins? There's no way that guy's 25.
So he wrote
my
in his
God.
bio that he loves fitness, spending time with his family at their beach house. And he loves guacamole, but hates avocados.
what the hell is...
Garrett,
that is as bland as plain avocado, sir.
Garrett, the medical sales rep from Nevada.
Here, can I pause for a sec? I've already forgotten the first guy's name.
Yeah, what was his name?
I forgot his name.
I had to scroll up.
All I know is that-
David.
So David's trying to
His
be.
name's boring. Sorry to all the Davids. I know a lot of Daves.
See, here's the thing: your name isn't boring if you've got a personality to back it up.
Yeah.
But knowing David after
Dave,
that,
but that's Dave.
knowing David after
Yep.
all that, now I'm bored.
That's avocado guy. He probably knows him
Like
as avocado.
if the Beatles were a shitty garage band, you wouldn't care what their name was.
but they were all nuts. And doing drugs. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry. Wow.
Garrett.
This is going to take a while.
Garrett, the medical rep from Nevada. He's 29. He looks 29. Loves fly fishing, snowshoeing, has perfected his Chris Farley impression,
Oh dear.
and he hopes to find love with Becca down by the river. Oh, what does that mean?
Chris Farley. He wants to find luck with Becca down by the river.
Is that?
Yeah,
From an
it's-
SNL.
Yeah.
You seriously don't know that skit?
I don't know
It's-
much about Chris Farley.
It's legendary, that skit. And David Spade
I keep
is like
forgetting Jesse's 16.
David Spade is like 16 in that skit, and then he like picks him up. Like it's very funny. You should watch it. But it's one of the ones that he's best known for. And anybody that does an impression of it does a bad impression. It's like people who
you
try
like
to do
mine just now?
Yeah, no, like well, I mean that wasn't bad, but like everybody who says they can do that, every time that comes up, I'm embarrassed for the people that go there.
You want to hear my Borat?
No, no.
Stop.
Yep.
the only thing I know about Chris Farley is that in like a 2011 J. Cole song, he referenced Chris Farley and he made some reference to him being gone too early. So I just assume he's a guy who died. Is that a fact?
You know,
did.
oversimplifying it a bit, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
J. Cole was not incorrect.
His rap lyrics were correct?
Yes, I mean, but it's J. Cole. Of course they were.
Ah.
He's J correct.
J.
on this one.
Cole would be historically accurate. Like, you know, that's
Clay.
the guy you expect.
Clay is a pro football player from Illinois.
Clay plays in the CFL for sure.
Except he's
Wouldn't you
not.
just say NFL player?
Except he's not because he's not currently. Are you okay? Here's the thing.
Arena football.
Real question.
I don't know what
Real
football
question.
he plays.
Let's say I'm a trained chef and I go into broadcasting. Am I a chef or a broadcaster?
Are you a trained chef?
If I've trained in culinary school, but all of a sudden I went into radio, and I never did a day in the kitchen in my life other than school.
Can you put
Am I a
professional
chef?
chef on your resume? No.
Can I call myself a chef? I don't think you can.
We have
Can
a
you?
friend who has an
That's so
anthropology degree, I think. But they're a plumber.
They're not an
are they
anthropomorph?
anthropologist?
You're saying they're not an anthropomorph?
Anthropomorph?
No, that's
an animagus?
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
That's a good analogy.
So I just feel like you are that until you're not that.
I don't think he's a pro football
If I
player.
stopped podcasting,
So he's a former pro football player.
I don't
This is why
know.
I think he's a current football player. He just plays for like arena football.
what's his last name?
I'm gonna do a little deep dive.
Do a
into
little
Clay.
deep
So
dive.
keep
But let's talk
talking.
about this,
Okay.
Steve.
Yes.
If we stop podcasting, would we be podcasters anymore?
We're former podcasters.
be former
Does anyone
podcasters.
identify as a former podcaster?
I hope not. It's not an old enough genre yet.
No. Yeah, I used to. Those were the
Also,
days.
I don't know anybody that would want to identify. Like, here's the thing: when you tell people you have a podcast, and I've said this before, people automatically go, "Ugh." Like if they've never heard of us.
Oh, dude.
The people are like, "Oh, great, this is going to be boring."
In the same way, so it's funny, and Americans probably don't realize they do this, but when you go to the States and you're not an American,
I got Clay's info, by the way, whenever you're ready.
a lot of them will
wait.
go over the top to be like, but we're not like these guys. Like, hey, no, we're cool.
we're
Like,
not we're not the Roseanne Barr Americans.
Yeah, well, it's funny, like, the Star Spangled Banner screaming eagle, glittery GIF, whatever on Twitter. In real life, they're like, oh, but please like us.
yeah,
a little
like
bit.
we love our country, which is fair.
I get like that about being a YouTuber.
Interesting. Like you're a YouTuber, but you're not like, "Hey, bros,
Well,
what's
who's
up?"
synonymous with YouTube?
PewDiePie.
PewDiePie and friggin' Logan Paul. And I'm
Logan
always
Paul.
like, but I'm not one of those. Here, send me one of your videos. Nah. Nah.
The dang gang.
Why? What do you do? Like yell and scream? No,
Yes.
not the dang gang.
When I think of Steve Dangle, I think of Nicole Arbor.
Wow.
I put them on the same tier.
Or the guy she dated.
Steve Dangle.
Matt Santoro,
Thank you.
the guy who does the lists. He does lists. That's what he does.
You bet he does.
Steve does lists.
Steve doesn't.
Sometimes Steve does lists
He
about
writes
things.
lists, but I don't think he does. Have you done a
No.
listicle YouTube video?
Not a YouTube video.
Trade trees are just clickbait YouTube lists.
What are you talking about? That is absolutely false. You get out of here. Trade trees don't take forever.
Jesse, you're my
What is the
favorite
difference
person.
between a Matthew Santoro list and a trade tree? Tell me right now.
Popularity and money.
As in Matthew
Mostly
Santoro
that.
has a lot of money?
Yes.
He does. I mean, he left the country because he got so famous that he had to go to LA to improve his business even more.
Is Calabasas just full of YouTubers?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Kanye.
And Kanye.
And Kanye,
And
yeah.
Justin
Kardashian
Bieber.
fan.
And
Yeah,
the Kardashians.
they actually, Toronto is one of the hubs of YouTube.
Yeah.
But they're finding that some of the problems are some of the big guys are leaving
Every
Because-
YouTuber lives in LA.
because they're all moving to LA to work on each other's videos and
Well,
stuff.
I realized that about Vine. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, how are they all in each other's video? Oh, they all live on, like, the same block
Yeah.
in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, guys.
All I know is when a Logan Paul YouTube video ends and when a Steve Dangle YouTube video ends, they ask the same thing. Hit
Likes.
subscribe, hit like. This is my YouTube channel. And that's it. So they're on the same level.
By
And
the
then
way,
he lights a cigar with a $100 bill.
and you have to do your own drywalling when your basement leaks.
And also live in Oshawa.
And live in Oshawa.
I don't regret that. I don't begrudge it at all. I'm going to listen to a deep audiobook on the way home, and that will be my company for 45 minutes to an hour.
Logan
How
Paul
dare
will
you?
hop in his Ferrari and
Yeah.
drive down.
Yeah, be home in 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then go home to a house party full of like crazy wild party
That's been
animals.
going
Jenna
on since
Marbles
you
is
left.
here.
Yeah, for several weeks this party's been going on.
Oh, freaking Gabby is here, and all the other ones.
And
I can name like 20.
He poked a dead guy in a forest and his career survived.
Oh my God.
That lady from Ireland
Like,
who
it's
wanted
insane.
a free hotel. She's rich now, and she's there also.
Just saying, Steve. Step up your game a little.
Maybe you do want
I'm
to.
so
You know how you say
unsuccessful
you're
and
not one of
shitty.
those? Maybe you want to be one of those. Like maybe you're missing the boat here, pal.
I should just be just a dick.
like okay, that's
We need to
like.
get back to Clay at some point.
I should
we'll get
definitely
back to
be
Clay.
what all
Clay
my-
doesn't matter.
I
Let's
should-
talk about this.
I should be what all the people who don't like me think I am.
Yeah. Like,
How?
like-
Ooh. Now, what does
Yeah.
that look like? Frame that one for me. For me here.
The Leafs! I just love the Leafs! Nelson Country's never done a wrong thing in his life, but your team is piece of crap. And then I pull down my pants, take a dump, and fling it at you. Fling it at a child and steal their money and ice cream.
All right.
That's what I do.
do you have to find a dead Leaf's body and poke it with a stick
Wow! All
And
right,
film
I'm
it.
out now. I'm out.
and put it on Vine?
See, this is why you're not willing to go the extra mile.
yeah, you have
Steve.
to put it on Vine too.
You won't even joke about it. All right, Jesse, tell me about Clay.
They
All right, so
do
the
a
body of
content
Tim
cop-
Horton.
Is it Clay? Wow. Is it Clay Matthews, by the way?
It is Clay Harbor.
Not Clay Matthews.
So Clay
We've
Harbor
done 3.
is on. We're
got-
still on 3.
We're going to chug through, my friends.
He's still on this season of The Bachelorette, but he is officially an active tight end in the NFL.
Oh, so maybe they just weren't
Though
allowed to say
He's
NFL.
currently unsigned.
And then remember, they've already recorded this show, so he's probably getting ready. So he is
He's
a professional.
unsigned, so he doesn't have a team to get
Who did
ready
he play for?
So he played college football. I'm reading this from TVGuide.com. He played college football at Missouri State, was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in 2010. He has played for the Eagles, Jaguars, Patriots, Lions, and most recently the New Orleans Saints. He scored 8 touchdowns over his career and has 1,170 receiving yards on 114 catches. At 30, he's pretty old for a tight end and was injured for the entirety of the 2017 season, so his playing days might be over. His time in The Bachelorette might be setting up for the next chapter of his life, or maybe a coach will see him and say, I got to get that guy from The Bachelorette on my team. Thank you, TV Guide, for that.
So
nice
he's
summary.
done. But no, that's actually really
Listen,
cool.
if he was drafted in 2010, the fact that he's had a run that's this long in the NFL, where I think the average is 3 years,
It's like, 2.5 years, something ridiculous.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know what? Professional football player. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Way to
Fair
go,
enough.
Clay.
But I'm glad we investigated that,
Yes.
right? I think that's fair.
Way to go, Jesse.
Way to go, Jesse.
Way to go, Google.
Yeah, I don't know why I said we. It was really Jesse. You and I were talking about how
Jason.
we can make you a terrible person.
Jason is the senior.
Bruce?
You should do.
Leafs!
You should do
I've done absolutely no work to get where I am.
new character.
I just go like this and put out my hands and I get things.
New character, stereotypical Dangle. So there's a hat guy, and then there's you, and then there's stereotype Dangle.
Hat guy is just me now. Like, I walk around the house.
It's just-
No, but I don't even think that.
Hey, Mrs. Dangle, what's up? I make lead video, and I make $5,000 a video.
Imagine.
That would be great.
Okay,
Damn.
so
You just got me like, I just had heart palpitations. That would be amazing.
a lot of people, when they meet me sober, they'll just like ask about like, so how did this all get started? Like, this is actually like a pretty neat career path. When I meet people for the first time and they're drunk, how much money you make? Every time.
The answer's not enough.
Not as much as you think. I am not Jenna Marbles.
So Jason, the senior corporate banker from Washington, he's 29, has a heart of gold, and loves singing songs from Disney movies.
DC or state?
Washington, it
That
says.
matters.
I don't know.
Well, they're dumb because there's two Washingtons. And
I assume it's Washington State. Else they would have specified.
Well, then is he from Seattle?
Where'd
or
they
where's
say
he
the last
from?
guy
They're
was from?
saying states.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Washington State.
like I said, Illinois is the last guy.
So you get West Coast boy.
So yeah, probably from Seattle.
Okay.
Okay.
What do we know about him?
He's a banker, has a heart of gold, loves singing songs from his favorite Disney movies, which is the corniest thing that's
Mrs.
anybody's
Dangle's
ever written.
dream right there.
Oh my God. It's not mine.
He's pretty boring. Let's move on.
Joe, the grocery store owner, also from Illinois. He's 31 and formerly one of the youngest traders on the Chicago Stock Exchange.
Now that's a story. That's
Is
a
it
story.
though, or is he boring?
See,
Yes, he's not old enough to talk about how he was one of the youngest. That means you either burnt out or you didn't make it or you quit.
He's 31.
Like
There was something
it wasn't like he was a tenured guy. Like he didn't like last, you know?
See, he might be boring, but I think that was well written because there was something about that just tickled my
I
interest
want
a
to know
little
why
bit.
he left. If you were
Now
one of the
he
youngest.
owns a
Why?
grocery store.
I wanted the
So he
simple life.
cashed out
I wanted the simple life.
Well, like,
and bought
but
a
you
no
don't
frills.
cash out and buy a grocery store, do you?
No frills.
but of
like,
all the things, like, dude, the last guy or 2 guys ago, I already forgot the last guy. He was so boring.
Remember David?
No.
Barely. He's the avocado guy.
The first guy.
Yeah, that's what I remember about him. Ugh, who cares? 2 guys ago, it was an active NFL player. This guy owns a grocery store. So there's got to be something cooler to that story other than like he owns a no frills or something like that.
Can I tell you Camille's job?
Perhaps a soda.
Hold on. What I want to say is this. If you're really cashing out, right? If you made some money, you're going to cash out and buy a business that requires not much work from you. If you're buying
Yeah.
a
Grocery
grocery
store is
store,
difficult.
you're
Yeah.
there 7 days a week, 18 million hours a day.
I
Oh,
would've
that's a lot
thought
of work.
You just hire a manager and they do that shit.
Oh, then you got so you got to make sure the manager's good. And then what happens when the manager's off?
Got
Who's
several
gonna manage for the
managers.
manager?
Yeah.
And then who's gonna do the shifts? Who's gonna do payroll?
What if the
Who's
manager quits?
Oh my god! And then you got to talk. How are we ordering the right amount of food? How are the prices?
What if there's exposed brick?
What if there's an avocado shortage? What are we gonna do then? It's a pain in the booty. Pain in the booty.
My goodness.
Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying. Anyway, interesting story. Is it Carmine? Did we say?
Camille is the next one.
Okay.
He's 30.
I don't.
See, I think I'll read his bio and then tell you what he classifies his job title
Okay.
as.
All right. Can we guess?
Sure, I'll read his bio and then you can guess his job title.
Okay. No looking, Steve.
All right. So Camille was born in Poland and moved to the U.S. with his parents when he was 5 years old. He learned English by watching cartoons. Camille has a successful career in real estate and dabbles in modeling as well. Just don't ask Camille to get his hands too dirty. He has a terrible fear of spiders. What is Camille's job?
Instagram model. Influencer. He's an influencer.
Oh,
He's for sure an influencer. Real estate and modeling.
Yeah.
Am I right?
He classifies himself as a social media participant.
Participant.
He participates in social media.
Every single person listening to or watching the show right now is a social media participant. That's what you're participating
Is
in
that
social
him
media.
is that him being clever? Is that him trying to be like funny?
I
Maybe.
think Camille's lame.
I mean,
It's not funny.
maybe it's a language barrier
But like,
thing.
no,
I don't know.
I don't
Or
think
maybe
it's that.
he is being
the
clever.
producers had if it was a language barrier thing, the producers would be like, "Well, listen, we're writing up your bio. This comes out across a bit weird. Are you sure you want to go with this? Oh yeah, no, sure, I want to go with it. Trust me, they would have run it by him.
It's weird. Like, he could have such a cool story, but it comes across so boring.
Do you want to hear about Jordan?
Hell yeah.
The male model from Crystal River, Florida?
What, a male model? You
Male
mean
model?
actor? You mean guy who's trying to launch his career? That would be weird.
No.
Why male models?
Sorry, keep going.
He's a former business/accounting major.
Okay.
How can you be a former major in something?
A former first-round
Didn't-
pick. Incorrect. You're a first-round pick.
As
Mike
in-
Brophy was going on that rant today.
Did he major in accounting or not? Or is he formerly majoring
It seems like he did, but maybe didn't graduate.
Is he in the Humber Hall of Fame?
I am a former arts and contemporary studies major, which is nothing. I had no major, really.
Because, like,
you
if
took
he-
an elective.
an elective.
One.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I passed. Who cares?
So Jordan turned his good looks into a professional modeling career. When he's not posing for magazine shoots, giving his best pensive gentleman look, Jordan enjoys kayaking and running. With a personal best mile time of 4.24.
Nobody cares about your stats. Nobody cares, bro. Your stats don't matter.
With a personal best mile time of 4.24.
That's awesome.
Jordan's
good?
Put it on your mom's freaking kitchen door.
Jordan's
Who
excited to
cares?
sprint to the finish line with the Bachelorette.
See, he just wanted the line. He just
Nailed
wanted
it.
the line.
He wanted the stat. He didn't need to say that. I like to run and I want to sprint to the finish line.
Hit it out of the park.
That wasn't golf? I thought this
I'm not
this
letting
was
him off
golf.
the
You
hook for
swing
this.
down here?
No, I golfed my baseball out of the stadium.
Oh.
And I scored a touchdown.
Golf ball.
Exactly.
My bad. Okay, sorry.
Bay
I
golf.
misunderstood. Bay golf. Misunderstood your sport.
Moving on to
Tiger bonds. You see,
Wills?
Because
I get you. I
Tiger
Wills.
Bond.
His name is Wills.
His first name is Wills.
Yes.
Is he Swedish?
Is that odd?
like
I
Mets?
mean, maybe is he a twin?
Nope. He's just a guy.
Well, he's not both of them.
I mean, he could be,
He's
right?
a graphic designer from California. He's majored in design, I would assume, if you're a graphic designer.
Yeah.
And he seriously loves Harry Potter. Is that? I feel like there's not enough there, Wills.
Dude, that's me with graphic design. I know nothing about him.
All right, Christian,
Other than he's both twins. Yes.
the banker from California. He's 28. Moved to the U.S. from Mexico when he was 3. Used to play semi-professional soccer, and his biggest fear is spilling something on himself in front of Becca.
Then he's probably got some other things he needs to work on.
No, that's him.
Are you kidding me, dude?
That's him trying too hard to cover all the bases. Hey, I got an interesting story. Moved here from Mexico when I was young.
Was an athlete?
I was an athlete.
Very good athlete.
But I'm
Yeah.
also vulnerable. Like I'm
sure hope I don't screw up and be the lovable goofball.
gosh.
And if I don't win, maybe they'll make the show around me next time. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I was wrong. That was a good play. Good
Covering
play.
all the bases.
Almost like his soccer career. Good play.
Whoa.
Christian.
Semi-good play.
Oh, you're right.
I think we might have found someone interesting.
All right, let's go.
Like,
Let's
this
hear it.
is Christian. Bored with his corporate job in Detroit, Christian sent an email to the Harlem Globetrotters to see if they were looking for new talent. Before he knew it, he was flying around the world entertaining thousands of fans with his acrobatic dunks. Now a professional dunker in LA, Christian hopes finding love with the Bachelorette will be a layup.
Great.
But his job now sounds like a phony job. It doesn't sound real.
Hold on a second here.
He's
Who could just
He's a professional wrestler basketball player.
Yo, but that's
No,
not
but-
even fair. He was an acrobat beforehand. He wasn't just some office guy who was like, hey, I'd like to try my hand
Yeah.
at dunk on a b-ball.
Like he
Are
just
you kidding
picked up a basketball for the first time
I'm
at
sure the
like
Harlem
28.
Globetrotters-
Whoa! I've never seen a basketball in my entire life.
Space Jam 3.
Token for the last time you can play bass.
That's what he's framing it as. And that's bullshit.
You were a high level basketball player with some acrobatic skills. Come on.
And now but he's a former Harlem Globetrotter. So he's a professional dunker
Who does he
now.
play for the Generals now?
Yeah, what do you do if you're a professional dunker? First off, that's got to be a pretty sweet gig, but like where do you make money?
Because
You get
that has
sponsored?
to end at some point. Your knees are going to give out.
Do you go into teaching professional dunking at that point?
But are they doing like hard LeBron jumps? Because it's fake basketball.
Are you jumping over Lamborghinis like Kobe? Like, what do you do? I guess we need to
These
watch
are a
the
lot
show
of
and-
important questions.
What's the
Still, he's
what's
interesting.
the Harlem Globetrotters
Yes.
equivalent of it's fake basketball? What? And he just gets angry and dunks on you? Was that fake? Did that feel fake?
They always win.
Sorry.
They always win.
Always win. I thought they were due. Sorry.
You took all your money and bet it against the Harlem Globetrotters.
They were due.
He's spinning the ball on his finger. Just take it from him. Sorry. John is a software engineer.
Simpsons reference. Cross that off.
Very, very good.
That was good.
John is a startup company success story who's working hard in the hustle and bustle of Silicon Valley tech scene.
So he's hanging out with YouTubers.
So he's a bad person. No.
Anybody who works and lives in Silicon Valley should be like off the list. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? I don't know. Why?
Tech people are crazy.
But I kind of find that interesting. Like Silicon Valley, if we were to walk through, like
I don't know where that is.
It's bizarre. It's such
It's
a bizarre.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's where the tech. It's where like Apple is.
see, that's where I thought it
Lyft.
was, but I don't know.
Uber. Yes.
And they have those crazy head offices. Like I think they're super creative.
I feel like they're also on some other weird level of human.
Yes.
Like I don't think I could hold a conversation with Elon Musk.
He
I
just
feel like he
seems
would
like a very
look at me and
strange
he would
dude.
melt me with his eyes.
I don't think I would
like
say
laser
anything
beams.
other than I would just ask him questions. I would just set him up. I'd lay up. Or sorry, I'd be the alley and let him oop all day. So I'd ask like 3 questions. He could talk for several hours.
Ask him about himself.
Yeah.
So Elon, well,
Yeah.
glad you asked.
What's it like to date Grimes?
That was an interesting pairing too. I was like,
Who is
wow.
that? I've seen the story, but like, who is that?
Grimes is a
Lord, but not.
no. She's pre-Lord. Like she came up in like
Pre-Lord?
she came up in the Tumblr age.
Whoa.
Is that how she got
yeah.
famous? Was Tumblr?
Yeah, she was. I think she went to McGill. She went to
What?
Yeah, she's Canadian. She's from
Oh,
here.
that's why it was a story here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was wondering.
Anyways,
I'm like, I
and-
saw it. I'm like, why do I care?
And Elon is like part Canadian.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is.
yeah,
He grew up here, Toronto.
Went to
He did?
UFC.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
Like I don't think
I
he
get that right?
identifies as Canadian, but I forget what country
No.
they came from. It was
he's South African. I
yeah.
believe.
So then they moved up here, and then they moved to California or something like
Yeah,
that.
his
Anyway.
mom was born here.
Yeah.
I don't know a whole lot.
Anyways, he's part
He's
Canadian.
one of those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Canadians like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Queens. That's where he's got a degree from.
That makes
Queen's
sense.
University.
Smart school.
Here.
There you go.
Anyways, enough of that. Back to the important stuff. John, the software engineer. When he's not working, you can find him wine tasting, playing guitar, or making his world famous banana bread.
Okay, I can hang out with him. Playing guitar, banana bread,
He
wine.
went the domestic angle. Yeah.
Yo, banana bread. If you can make a good banana bread, we're friends.
Adam, I was gonna say you're not in it for anything else besides the banana
Yo,
bread.
I'm straight up in it for a little wine too, and I like guitar. Although if he's gonna play Wonderwall, I'll go away. Don't do that.
I think it's uncomfortable when friends play music in front of you.
Has anybody ever like picked up the acoustic guitar and like looked at you in the eyes and started singing?
Adam, I hate you right now for.
It's
shut up.
happened, hasn't it?
It has.
Oh, okay. Who was it?
awful. No,
Who was it?
no.
Tell. What did they sing?
They weren't singing. If they were singing, I would have left the room. They were playing the guitar and just kind of looking at me, nodding to answer my questions because I think they were concentrating
Right.
on what they were doing. He denies ever doing it, so Justin Fisher's going to be very mad at me. He denies ever doing it.
Awesome.
He denies ever doing it, and he's
Wow.
a filthy liar. He's 100% done it.
So
I don't remember who it was. I don't know. Who
Which
knows?
stage was he in? What music stage was he in? Because Justin went through many.
Justin was simultaneously Coheed and Cambria and Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
So
Well, always wide ranging. That's very funny.
he was a decent guitar player.
Yes,
I
he
saw him
was.
play
Very
live.
good.
He was good.
Yes, he was.
Belfry.
Did he
Remember?
stare at you in the eyes?
Yeah,
at
he's
that
just
point too?
from the stage.
Jesse, next guy.
We have one of your coworkers, Stephen.
Iggy.
6-0.
Mike.
Charlie.
He's a sports analyst.
Ah.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Where?
His name is Mike Renner. He
Oh,
works
he's
for-
not like literally a coworker.
No, he works in the same field as you. He's a coworker.
That's not how that works.
I think that is exactly the definition of the word, and if you tell me I'm wrong, you're wrong.
You
so
and
he
Mark
works
Burnett,
for Pro
the
Football.
same-
He works for Pro Football Focus,
Okay.
and he's a contestant on this upcoming season of The Bachelorette. I was trying to find more info on him, but all I know is he works for Pro Football Focus as an analyst. And his bio says the Notre Dame alum majored in accounting and computer applications and currently works as a pro football analyst. Mike loves festivals, horse races, and state fairs.
Okay, so is he going to be best friends with the NFL player guy, or is he going to be his rival? Because now it's, this guy talks a big game, but he has no idea. He's never been on the field. Blood, sweat, and tears like I have. And he's got this chip on his shoulder because he was injured last season, and he's going to want to prove himself against the football analyst. And the football analyst is going to be like, I'm gonna show him. This guy was injured all last season, and I got to impress the lady friend person, but perhaps future wife.
You should write for The Bachelorette.
I really should.
That's a great storyline.
Yo, that's awesome.
That's probably better than what's going to happen on the season.
Yeah,
It's not hard. I was just like, football! Both football!
You should just have the Fox theme too. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da.
Terry Bradshaw pops out of nowhere.
Fold the pigskin.
They have like the marker going over them when they have a fight. Well, if you see here, what he did was he threw a right. He should have threw a left and feinted right. And then
John Madden.
yeah,
Nice.
sorry,
That's
I
good.
forgot who I was doing there.
See, Connor.
Football. I was really doing Will Sasso's John Madden. Anyway,
Will Sasso's John Madden was outstanding.
Connor's bio is based on something that never happened.
Oh.
Connor says, after graduating from the University of Tampa, Connor had the opportunity to play professional baseball for the Atlanta Braves before diving into his current profession as a health and wellness coach. Connor is a risk taker, but if you're a risk taker, wouldn't you have taken the opportunity to play professional baseball?
Baseball.
So it concludes by saying Connor is a risk taker whose health and fitness is his number one priority.
Then you would want to work for a team.
See, I just found another guy who could be a potential rival for the NFL guy because NFL
Is
guy.
this man 25?
No, he's not 25.
No, he's 100% 25. He's one of those
Like
young guys.
well-developed 25-year-olds?
No, he's one of those young guys, who goes out of his way to look older.
I still
This
look like
guy's
a
goal
kid
in
at
life
25.
is to impress older people.
Oh.
I've met 1,000 guys like this. Yeah. No, I know the hair, suit, everything.
Cold pop and a wheel.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Guys in their 20s who say cold pop and a wheel.
140,000%.
Which is, by the way, for anybody that doesn't speak old guy, it's a beer and a pizza. Cold pop and a wheel.
What do you mean, old guy? Why do you got a dump on it? Well, you're not a guy? We're just guys here talking.
Being guy.
Holy shit. One thing I've never been good at being is just a guy.
Me either.
Because
Just
it's not
a-
a thing.
See, here's the thing.
It's a thing.
Oh, it's a thing for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is that whenever I'm caprice, because this is what happens when you get married. You go to a party where you don't know any guys,
And you gotta talk to the
and your
guys.
wife's like, he likes sports and you like sports. It's like the Chris Rock bit, right? It's like he likes baseball, you like baseball. You guys will get along. Yeah, we
It's
like
like the
baseball.
Jerry daycare from Rick and Morty. They're just
Totally.
like, here you go.
Totally. So when guys talk to me about, they're like, oh, you have a hockey podcast. I'm like, yeah. Well, like, first off, they hear podcast and go, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, well, it's, and then they're like, oh, it's with Steve Dangle. Oh yeah, I've seen that guy on Sportsnet or whatever.
Has anyone ever been like, he's a prick?
Oh, well, people are like, is he like crazy or like, what's he like? And then,
Oh, whose fault is that?
and then Jesse, they come to you and they start talking about, they drop in their hockey opinions. And it's really,
Well, you know what I think.
They don't care. They'll ask you a question, not because they care what your answer is.
No, so they can talk about their shitty opinion.
I mean, you said it. You said it. And I never fit that. I never did. I was never, I'm never that guy. I just couldn't, it's not in me.
So-
I'm not that.
This actually happened recently. They ask me mine, so I got to give mine, and I give like very general, and I watch the wheels spin, and I can tell by eye movement like where they're going, and so I mention the thing I'm pretty sure they're angling for next. And then they start to nod, and I go deeper down that path, and then basically they start to bend their opinion around mine. And at the end of it, they're like, same. I got that a lot. Totally.
You know what I got recently was someone tried to tell me that Roman Polak really stabilized the Leafs defense.
I don't combat those.
I don't either. I just listen to them. And I have to listen.
I give people credit.
Sure.
Like, whenever
Listen, you're entitled to your opinion, but there's like, it's like you're trying to sell me on this thing, and I'm not going to come around on it, but I'm not also going to disagree because who cares, right? I'm not going to go to some guy's party and be like, yo, man, we just met, and also your Polak opinion is crap.
Yeah. I got a friend who just hates Jake Gardner. just hates him. And what I do is I give it to him. I go, okay, yep, here's all the things he does bad, and I totally agree. But you got to admit, this, and this. And well, yeah, I don't know, yeah, totally. And then the next time I see him, they've forgotten all of that, and I hate Jake Gardner again.
They always pick a guy that hate. Nazem Kadri's another guy I always get. Oh, he's garbage. Trade him. What? I get that all the time.
Always weird.
Idiotic.
Nylander,
Crazy.
I've gotten.
Yeah. Oh.
Freddie.
Yeah. Exactly.
Austin shouldn't be captain because he's American.
You got that?
Oh, baby. You bet. Who should it be, Mitch? Oh, you bet. You bet.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Anyway, Jesse.
I like the people, when we meet the people who listen to this show, because anybody who goes out of their way to listen to a hockey podcast has a higher level of opinion on hockey.
Well,
and it's not
You're the top 1%.
those, yeah,
When
and
I
it's
run
not
into
those
people who are not
takes.
doing this.
So it's really nice.
Those are the ones listening to my shitty opinion and correcting me. That's usually what's happened.
Actually, idiot.
And here's some information to back it up. And I'm like, oh, I learned something today. Good.
Do you guys want to end on
Most
Nikki?
of our listeners are pretty
No,
cool.
let's keep going.
Well, Nick. He's an attorney from Orlando, Florida. Nick is a fun-loving attorney with a zest for life. When he's not winning trials, you can catch him in his signature tracksuits being the life of the party. Nick is a self-proclaimed weekend warrior, that's in quotes, who loves brunches, barbecues, and the beach.
What's his name? Nick?
Nick.
Nick is going to, be pretty fun for, the first 18 months to 2 years. And then, how old is he?
27.
Maybe 3. And then he's going to burn the hell out. And that weekend warrior part of him that you love is going to go away. Because you know what he's going to be? A freaking attorney! And he's not going to have weekends anymore! I'm surprised he has them now! How many of his clients get convicted?
When he's not
The
winning
hell are you
cases
doing on
ever.
the weekend? On the weekend, you put on a tracksuit and get wasted at a barbecue? Nick, you're protecting people's lives, you maniac!
Sound like a very good attorney.
No, he sounds like a bad person.
I'm not hiring Nick.
No.
He's not going to become a partner in that firm.
You know, there's some prison somewhere where there's nothing to watch. They got one channel, and all right, I guess we'll watch the friggin' Bachelorette. And there's going to be a guy sitting in the third row going, that's my friggin' attorney! No wonder I'm in here! It's getting wasted on the weekend. He was only 27! I got put in prison 2 years ago! He was 25! That's exactly what's going on with this guy. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so passionate about it.
You went off on
Imagine you're calling
I am passionate about attorneys!
you're calling your lawyer to make bail, and he's wasted at a party in a tracksuit.
Or you call him and he's on the Bachelorette.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're a lawyer, how do you have 3 months off to go to the Bachelorette?
You're on ABC. What the fuck?
Hey, you've reached the Nick Man. Call you in a week or 2 months. Depends on how well I do.
So my trial's next week. Thought you'd be here, Nick.
All right, man. I'll try to get kicked off, but I'm charming as shit.
So imagine
you know,
his TV commercials instead of Better Call Saul. Better pick Nick.
Man, I'm just gonna pull out the weekend warrior on her. It's gonna be like, bam, and then I'm gonna miss your trial, dog. I'm sorry. Nick is a dick. Nick the dick.
All right, Trent is our last one.
And then
Trent?
are we going to do this again next time too? Like finish it
Next
off?
year?
No, like is this it? Is this it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've covered almost all of them.
Oh, okay.
Trent is a depressing university.
So
Sorry.
Trent is originally from...
No friend I had that went to Trent was like, that was great. Sorry.
Trent is an animal
I
lover.
partied there, though. Sorry, what?
Trent is an animal lover from Carroll, Idaho. But he moved to Florida to pursue a career as a realtor and a model.
This is already Adam's favorite contestant.
He has been on the cover of romance novels and has done cataloging work as well. Trent is excited to show the Bachelorette his sweet Midwestern charm.
So he's not like Instagram model hot. He's like Sears catalog hot.
Literally,
He looks really
cover
good in
of
chinos.
romance novels and catalog work.
So his hair's got to be high. By the way, I've not. It's got to be high hair.
tucked in polos.
He
High hair,
looks
right?
like the guy.
You don't get on the cover of romance novels unless you're Fabio or you've got high hair.
High hair, no, that's a young guy thing. This
he
guy's
is a young guy.
No, how old is he?
He's on the Bachelorette.
28.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Interesting. He might be a high hair guy. Jesse, is that his picture right there? No, that's not him. That's not who I pictured at all. Is it?
Does he have high hair?
Jesse won't answer my question.
I'm changing the battery.
He's got, okay, so the person I'm looking at, oh yeah, it's Trent. So Trent has, I don't know, Trent looks boring. But you know what Trent looks like right now? He looks like the stock photo for like, who's the company that does all the school photos in Ontario? You know exactly who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He could just as easily be the stock photo model and photographer for that company.
Yeah.
Doesn't it start with a J? I don't know.
Does Trent look like Will Forte?
He does. Trent looks a little like Will
No,
Forte.
he doesn't look like Will Forte.
I mean,
Who is that? You? You came up with that? Oh, he's got slightly similar hair. No!
Are you looking?
a little bit. A little bit.
Those guys, no.
Yo, but
I wouldn't even think they were related.
I'd hit it with Will Forte before Trent, just saying.
I mean, yeah, me too. Way more rich.
Anyways.
You just for the money, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, his last name means strong in a language.
It's true.
I think.
That's all.
Well, that was fun. Not as fun as DeMario, but also, you know.
Remember DeMario?
Well, we forgot about tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we will again. Hey, in the meantime, just since we're here, what are we doing for our next show? When's the next one?
You wanted to do like Sunday, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought
don't
you
think
did.
I mentioned
When's the
that
next
at all.
game? Tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So Thursday it is? Thursday? Thursday? Jesse, you're not going to be at a concert? You got time, guys? You guys got time for this?
Next
Good time for this
Fine,
little
it's
show?
him.
Next Thursday. I can't do, but I can do.
What are you doing next Thursday?
There's another concert.
Who's in
That
town?
was the YouTube music thing.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Why weren't you there?
'Cause I didn't know those people.
What do you
Were you
mean?
invited?
You're a YouTuber.
I think so.
You didn't get the invite?
No, I got the invite. I was
Okay.
also dealing with a back injury and didn't really feel like going out. But yeah.
Okay,
So who was there?
it was awesome. A lot of Canadian artists. There was a stack full of Toronto artists.
The Trues. Sorry. No, who was there?
Who was that one dude?
So
Yeah, it
Jesse
sounds like you had
remembers
a great time.
none of
No,
them.
I wanted to.
How cheap are the
remember
drinks?
none of
I
them.
wanted to make fun of that guy you play on Kiss all the time, but I forget his name. Anyways,
Masari?
Jesse Reyes was there.
Oh, okay. That's a big name.
Roy Woods, Daniel Caesar.
Big names.
It was a good time.
Guy we play on Kiss. What did he sing?
I was just like, no,
Guitar
because I
dude.
wanted to record Thursday.
You
I
mean
was like,
Scott
man,
Hellman?
I don't think. No, it wasn't Scott Hellman.
Because Scott Hellman, who went to school with one of our friends.
All I
No,
know
it was
is-
a great time.
I was like, man, it should be nice to not have to record on a Friday night. But Jesse had something come up. And then I check Instagram and I see you having a whale of a time at the YouTube music thing that you had to go to. What? Who did Tim and Sid send you there, Jesse?
No,
Was it for the podcast?
Hold
What were
on
you
a
there for?
second.
You're just having a whale of a time.
Hold on a second.
Hold on to what? Is that one of the songs by person I've never heard of? Oh, Jesse's having. Oh boy, I'm about to get it. He needed a drink.
just kidding. I thought
That
the
or
show
he
was
needed time to
up,
come up with
but,
some bullshit
I'm
answer.
in-
What is the problem here?
That you were just gallivanting at some YouTube music thing, forcing us to do a show on a Friday night. It's okay. None of us have plans on a Friday night or anything to do on a Friday
Steven,
night.
I actually don't have
Yeah,
plans
well,
on a Friday
of course
night.
you don't. You're married.
What were you going to do last Friday? What are you going to do this coming
Doesn't
Friday?
matter,
What are
because-
you going to do for the rest of the Fridays for the rest of your life?
You think I do nothing
Sit
on
on your
Fridays?
damn couch with your two damn dogs,
That is
Steven.
not what I do. Sometimes we go and hang out with other people who have dogs.
I would just like to say that I love hanging out on my damn couch with my damn dogs on a Friday night. Just throwing
So
that in
do
there.
I.
No, you guys go back to your thing. I'm listening.
Well, Jesse.
So I don't know what your problem is.
Well, Jesse, what do you think I do on Friday nights again?
You record this podcast.
See, you're very interesting because I could have swore you said I like sitting at home on my couch with my two damn dogs, which is awful hard to do from here. It's hard to do from the studio.
So why didn't you go to the YouTube thing on Thursdays?
I forgot that I got the invite and I didn't care.
Some of us care about things.
Wow.
Some of us care about the people and like to be amongst them.
Who'd you talk to? You have a good time?
I had a great time. Yeah. I wasn't in the super. There's a super VIP for like the super YouTubers. So I wasn't hanging out with.
You were in the VIP.
I was in the regular one.
If we got to
Not the
100,000
VVIP.
subscribers on this channel,
Yeah.
would we all be super VIP YouTubers?
Sure, why not?
Like we're a long way away from that, but like,
Nah.
no?
Nah.
But don't we get the super cool?
We get the button, but there's like, dude.
No, there's a next level of YouTuber.
Which is
that's
what, 1 million?
Millions, and they're just bigger.
Do you think we could get there?
Yeah.
1 million?
Not doing this.
Oh, 1 million?
No.
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 Not doing
know.
hockey?
100K? Yeah, maybe. 1 million, no. It's too niche. Not enough people give a shit about hockey.
Yeah, if this was football, if we were this in football, we would be, yeah.
Are we that interesting? I don't know.
No,
A
probably
million
not.
I
people per
just
show?
don't think our show is good enough.
No. Can we hold 1 million people for an hour? And a half? Imagine if Hockey Night in Canada was just us instead of the game. I don't think it wouldn't be good
I've
retention.
seen some of the people with 1 million followers, and I'm questioning why.
Oh my God. Like there's some of the, okay, so
Thought the show was over, guys.
you've shown me these guys and I watched a bunch of their videos. I like them. H3. How is that like the most popular thing since freaking sliced bread?
Because he calls other YouTubers out, and he does it in a pretty funny way, and also a very truthful way. No,
He does it in a
did he screw
very okay way.
really.
Very okay.
Wow.
And like, no, they've done a few videos that I really, really liked.
Yeah, I think
their
it's-
DNA one was really interesting. How they went through their. It made me care about it because like everyone wants to know like, oh, I'm 2% Mongolian. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that about myself or whatever. But they're going through like the diseases. Like I didn't realize like they show you like how susceptible you are to certain like really terrible diseases, and they're both sitting there like shitting a brick.
By the way,
But for the most part, I'm like,
those
eh.
apparently are not real anyway.
And that.
So don't. And also, can I just throw this out there in the age of privacy concerned? Don't send your DNA to a stranger.
Yeah.
Fair?
Just
Fair?
well, and so I've seen other YouTubers, the ASAP Science guys.
Yep.
You gotta like.
Who I've met, and they're nice guys.
They seem nice.
They're from
Are they
Toronto.
guys?
Yeah, they're Toronto guys.
So they just hork up their entire lungs into this vial. Ugh. It's freaking gross. Yeah, and also like, okay, so shortly before my grandma started to lose her memory, she told me that 6 generations back, we have Norwegian in our blood.
Well, that's interesting. Okay.
I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I've never identified with any of that at all. And
You're
that,
not going
but,
to Nordic Toronto festivals.
but that's like it. You know, there was that's a neat little thing. I'm 1/16 Norwegian. You know, but like, what am I really going to find out about myself? If I can trace it that far back, I don't think I'm going to find out anything that earth-shattering.
I'm an 8th Lithuanian.
Yeah. And like, yeah, you, like, for example,
Which
like,
is
you know
really
you're
back then
all
was
kinds
Russia.
of things.
Yeah, it was like Russia owned Lithuania at that point, and then the Soviet Union, the revolution happened. My grandfather or my great grandfather was over here, so he missed it. The family
recording
died and
me, dude?
disappeared. Crazy stuff.
Jesse,
Anyway,
you just record me?
yeah, he did.
The whole thing is being recorded. What do you do?
With your phone!
We are sitting
Jesse
here.
is-
When was the last time you gave a straight answer for anything?
We are sitting here recording a show. What do you mean, did I record you?
Would your Bachelor profile just be "Don't worry about it"? Would that be it?
No,
Just
it'd be-
don't worry about
it'd be,
it.
what the-
No, you know what it would be? It'd be a GIF of you typing silently on your phone.
No, it'd be Jesse going, "What the fuck are you looking at?"
Just a really long middle finger.
And people would be like, "Ooh, I'm intrigued by this guy."
Yeah, he's a badass. Yeah, he doesn't even introduce himself when he gets out of the limo.
Just a Steppenwolf playing.
Hey,
All right. Well, hey, with that,
you get out of the limo. Do you think there's something comical about the size of my automobile?
no, that would make
Sorry,
him look not cool.
'cause you're
That
tall.
wouldn't be possible.
Because you're tall.
I got out of the limo and said that, Stephen? Are you saying I'm longer than a limo? Do you know
but
that the
but
overly...
cars are compressed. They're not high off the ground.
But it's a limo. It has plenty of room for
Does it have like freaking Lamborghini doors, and that's how you get out? You just swing like that? Just swing out your 9-foot long legs?
I would like all of the overly vertical out there
Overly vertical.
to cancel Steve Dangle for discriminating against
Wow.
our people. Thank you.
Wow.
That's all I have to say.
Steve Dangle is over party. For the overly vertical, which I've never heard before.
And with that, let's start. This podcast is over party.
No!
At least this
Thank you.
episode, anyway.
I have more thoughts on Nick.
It's been over.
guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.